go, baby. We back in this thing, man.
Yes,
we back
sir.
in this thing. Look, y'all.
Yes, sir.
This has been crazy. It's been 21 weeks. Can y'all believe that? 21 weeks of the couch coach, guys.
Time, bro.
Yeah, that's a long time. We've been locked in, man. This is the couch coach. I'm your host, Best Show XO. I got my guys with me. I got Tim Jitsu. I got my guy with me. We got Nui, and I'm gonna let him do our intro for this phenomenal guest that we got today because he can speak it a little bit better than I can.
We're using big words like phenomenal.
Why?
I love it.
This is what I've heard,
man. This is my dog, man. Real talk, man. This is one of my brothers, man. Hey, this man needs no introduction, right?
Okay.
He is a freshman All-American at Oklahoma State. Even the great Gundy said he was the best athlete to ever come out of Oklahoma State. And I would say Oklahoma ever, right?
Including Barry Sanders.
I'll throw all those chips on the table, my man. My man was 360 windmilling. High school. I put his high school highlight tape up with Reggie Bush, Noel Devine. Those were bad boys, right? I can put it up, but man, just getting to know him. Great player, multiple time MVP. He dominated with the Oklahoma Thunder. I was just blessed to be his quarterback, man. Hey, Prentice out there somewhere. No further ado than my man Pizzo, Prentice Elliott.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, man.
Appreciate you guys for having me, man. I love what you guys. I watch you guys week in and week out, man. I wish the best for you guys moving forward, and I'm just grateful to be here.
Man, I'm glad you're here, boss.
Yes, sir.
Tim, why do we have to be smothered with 49er fans?
I don't know. I feel like it's been that way a lot of the year, though. And
winners surround themselves with winners.
Irritating.
Like, what's happening? It's getting jumped week in and week out.
I want to know why two guys from Oklahoma, or at least I know Brandon's got some sort of connection to San Francisco, to California, but why Prentice? Come on, you are like Tulsa. You are Tulsa. You should at least be a Cowboy fan. Why all the way 49ers? What is the origin of that?
Man, I've been a 49er fan since I started watching football, since I've been like 5 years old. Man, I didn't watch all Ricky Waters, Roger Craig, Garrison Hirsch. Man, I've been a 49er fan forever. So it just been one of my things. And plus, when I was little, I loved their colors, man. So I always been a diehard.
I can feel you on that.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I feel you on that.
Okay. What year? What year were you? Do you remember your first year as a 49er fan? And who was the quarterback of that team? Was it Young at that point? Was it Montana still?
I think Montana was just about to be Steve Young's era. We were just transitioning over to Steve Young at that time.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's been a long time for you then.
Yeah, man. It's been a while, man. It's been a while.
Glory days, baby.
I got one in. Seeing how long
doesn't even want to stay on them with all that 49er stuff. You know what I mean? The camera's like, let's pan away.
Lovely, man.
Quickly.
Red and gold looks good on y'all.
I got one
Come
for you.
join us.
Seeing how long you've been a 49er fan, give me your favorite 49 player ever.
My favorite 49er player, this is going to sound crazy because he's a defensive guy.
I like this. Okay.
Burton Hanks, baby.
Oh, man.
36.
Dinosaur
Hey, you know what's crazy, though? You know what's crazy? My mom's grew up with him and his family.
What?
No BS. Swear.
Wow.
Right hand of God. It's crazy, right?
That's interesting.
It's crazy.
Oh.
Burton Hanks, yes.
There we go.
A lot of his family's down in the El Reno.
Man,
yep.
How did he would his neck?
I never met him though. I never met him, but they grew up. They were like, yeah, that's a good family friend. I was like, wow.
That dude was a baller. But you could have chose you could have chose Jerry Rice, Ronnie Lott.
Come on, man.
Terrell Owens, Ricky Waters, Joe Montana. Very obscure pick, I have to say.
I think I fell in love with the neck dance more than anything. That's why he became one of my favorite players.
Okay,
man.
that's fair.
But if I got to go with my all-time greatest 49er fan, it'd be Jerry Rice.
For sure.
Jerry Rice. Yeah. Okay.
Remember when we used to watch Jerry Rice?
I respect that.
I get that because my favorite Viking wasn't even a great. He's just my favorite. That's Percy Harvin. So, you know what I mean?
That's my guy.
That's my guy. Like
Harvin's amazing.
If he played right now, he would be great. We wouldn't be talking about Christian McCaffrey if Percy Harvin was playing right now and I'll stand on the table.
Oh, that's a tough.
I mean,
It wouldn't be no.
I can say that for
McCaffrey would
Zoe,
still
man.
exist.
Zoe was that kind of player.
I would
too.
say
That was
Debo.
crazy.
Christian McCaffrey would exist. It would be Debo. You know what I mean? Percy Harvin is everything that we see in Debo right now.
I agree 100% with that one.
Man, my God. But hey, welcome
Percy
to the
was
show,
like a
boss
4-3
man.
guy.
Welcome to the show. Look, we run this thing on the Couch Coach just like a football game. You know what I mean? We do that, pop it off with the pregame, first quarter, second quarter, halftime, third quarter, fourth quarter, and bring it home for the win every time for 20 weeks now. All right. How we do in the first quarter is what the hell happened. And on our what the hell happened, we're going to do it a little bit different. You know what I mean? We normally have our own what the hell happened, but there wasn't too many games to talk about here. So we're going to pick a game and we're going to all talk about how the hell we saw it through our lens. All right.
I like that.
So,
I like that a lot.
Let's pop it off, Tim.
That's a different one, right?
You know what I'm saying? Let's pop it off. This was the first game. This was the Texans against the Ravens, man. What did you think, Tim? What the hell happened for you?
Man, I tell you what, I was impressed, and this is going to come off bad probably to some folks, but I was impressed by that defense, man. They held a team that was averaging 30-something points a game to 3 points. That's the least that we've seen in the playoffs. That's probably the least we've seen in the playoffs in quite a while. They were flying all over the ball. CJ never got comfortable. You're talking about a guy that we all agree, rookie of the year. He's been dynamic. And he looked shook, right? He at some points he was just catching and throwing to nothing, to nobody, and that defense was scary. So to me, that defense was the engine. Lamar did a great job as usual. He protects the football using his legs in the red zone, fantastic. Didn't have to throw the ball a lot, so didn't have a lot of gaudy numbers. Will that be the same this week against the Chiefs? I don't know. We'll talk about that later. But to me, it was the defense that no one seems to want to talk about, and they deserve a lot of credit for what happened to the Texans this past weekend. To me,
I don't dislike it. I feel like, it was
Still a little shade, but I don't dislike it.
no shade.
Nui, just a little bit, Nui, what the hell happened?
I just want to point it out.
It's fair, and it's
A
fair.
great defense
It's fair.
is always a help. A great
It's fair.
defense is always a help.
That's fair.
For me with the Ravens and Texans, I mean, it was a slobber knocker at first, right? I mean, 20 game layoff. I mean, that kind of hurts you, right? We experienced that in San Francisco, but overall, Lamar came out firing in the second half. I mean, he is as efficient as it gets. I say he's like a cyborg, man. I mean, this guy he's impossible to defend. I mean, 4 total touchdowns, 2 on the ground, 2 in the air. What was he? Over 70% completion, very effective. That defense, yes, it does help, right? But both teams were, 4 and 12 on third down. So the efficiency wasn't there like it normally is. So it happens sometimes off of big plays too. But I think right now, I mean, kudos to CJ and the Texans and D'Amico for doing their thing, man, because they may have given a little bit of the recipe in the first half of what you can do to contain Lamar, because they had 3 sacks on him. So hopefully the Chiefs can make this a game and really just simulate that style, because I think right now, outside of that, they may not have a chance. And that's how I look at it. They're on a roll, and Lamar's dangerous. That defense dangerous. It looks scary, fellas.
It is interesting what you
It
said.
looks scary.
Coaching really made a big difference to me, right? Too. Harbaugh's been there, done that. They made those adjustments at halftime, and it was a completely different Ravens team in the second half, for sure. To Nui's point.
Well, I say like
And they
this, man. When
stopped
have you ever
trying
been
to throw the ball, and they just ran the crap out of the ball.
When have we ever seen in our lifetime the Ravens sorry? Never. Just
Yeah.
making dumb mistakes. They're low-key kind of a second favorite team to me. It's just like they always do the right shit. They always play tough nose, and now they got Cyborg at freaking quarterback, and there's nothing that they can't do. And so it's only going to get better over time, right? And so, kudos to that victory. That was huge for Lamar. He advances to the AFC title game. I don't think he has anything to prove at this moment.
Beautiful.
I mean, obviously you won a Super Bowl, but
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
to advance, and you're healthy, and you're another
Yeah.
MVP, what more do you need? He's worth
Princess,
every
what the hell you
penny
see this
and
weekend?
more.
Well, he needs to win this game.
It's gonna be a tough game. If you ever watch Baltimore, Baltimore always had a strong run game, and I'm kind of biased because my old offensive coordinator and my receiver coach is his offensive coordinator now, so I know Todd Monken, what type of guy he is. So if you watch the Ravens, Lamar playing more comfortable. The offense is flowing more. They mixing it up, run pass. I like the way that he took the play action pass. Not he don't use it as much as they did the run pass option as they did the past couple of years. So he kind of mixed their offense up. Lamar playing outstanding football, and you got to get a defense credit. They playing old school Baltimore Ravens defense when they had Ray Lewis.
Right.
And I just feel like in order for the Chiefs to beat them, they're gonna really have to contain and make Lamar. In order to beat the Ravens, you're gonna have to make Lamar throw the ball at least 30, 40 times. You can't let him just sit back and scramble, use his legs to make plays. That's when he at his best. When he playing comfortable and free, that's when he at his best.
Right.
Facts. If he has to throw the ball 30, 40 times in a shootout with Patrick Mahomes, if that's the way the game goes, I feel like that's a big advantage to the Chiefs.
Yeah,
I agree as well.
See, I think there's two stories, because while I agree with you, Tim, I think the defense was phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? CJ Stroud, had the highest passing average all year long and only threw 175 in this game. That was defense calling out, point blank. You know what I mean? They showed up when they were supposed to show up. But as we talked about last week, we said, who has the most pressure going into this week? And that pressure was mainly put on Lamar. It was almost unanimous.
It was huge. Yeah.
It was unanimous. And that was from everybody. And it wasn't just on this show. It was on any show that you watched. Everybody talked about it. They said, you know what? Lamar had to go win it. And what I like about that game was nobody else scored 4 touchdowns this weekend. Not one quarterback. Not one offense. And Lamar was responsible for 4 of them. So that's playoff football. That wasn't just the defense winning. That was Lamar putting them on his back, and he scored those touchdowns. That's heavy. And I don't care how you do it.
To be fair, Lamar Jackson is one of 2 quarterbacks that really gets designed runs in the red zone. And the other guy was accounted for 3 and had 3 dropped touchdown passes in his game. So, but you're right. The fact is that he did it. He accomplished it. He was the only one that did.
That's what I saw this weekend. And, one thing I want to point out from the Texans, now that the season's over, to reflect, they looked outmatched for the first time. You know what I mean? In that game, they just looked like that roster is not as good as the other roster. The weeks before, we would look at the Texans and it just didn't matter. You know what I mean? Because the prowess of this team was like, man, they can win it. You know what I mean? This situation, they can go win it. Right? Tomorrow they can win it. But that roster is going to need some turnover. Without high, draft picks, I wonder how they're going to do it. I really hope free agents are going to want to go play in Houston. I think they're going to have some money to play around with. But I wonder what their future is going to hold. Because right now, it doesn't look like that roster can compete with the Ravens, even next year, as of today. I do see some change that has to happen fast because it didn't really look like the 2 even teams whatsoever. But let's keep it rolling.
We got nurture. Go ahead.
I would say this, though. DeMeco Ryans, one thing I know about DeMeco Ryans being a 49er fan, he going to coach defense. And once he get the defensive players that match his scheme, they're going to be a problem. Because if you watch him, he took their defense to another level with just the players that he had. So with that being said, I feel like once he get the players that he need in the key places, they're going to be a problem. You got to think about it. They're probably one of the youngest teams in the NFL right now. So they're going to grow. I love the fact that they so young, but they're going to be so competitive. And on top of that, Tank Liddell was injured, so that's another big threat at receiver that was down. So when I see him next year, I feel like they're going to be a contender from here on out moving forward.
I like it with it being such late picks. That's the only thing I wonder. They do have the pick from Cleveland still, so pick 23. I wonder how they're going to be able to maneuver. I just didn't see it as far as pound for pound. They didn't look as good as the Ravens.
I agree.
That first half was something different, though, man. That was like a blueprint, a small blueprint of how you can contain them and have him jumping into sacks, because one of Lamar's greatest threats is buying time and having that ability to get in and out and around about how he chooses. Right? He buys so much time in the pocket, and you don't see that out of a lot of guys. And then if you force to commit, he's going to take off or throw it downfield. And guys are wide open. You can't cover guys that long. Doesn't sustain.
And what makes it so hard playing against Lamar? Because you can't play a lot of man to man. That's the crazy thing about it. You can't play man to man.
That's
and
when
now
you know
he
you
got-
arrived.
Now he didn't got to the point so comfortable throwing the ball. Now he chopping up zone defenses. So now you like,
Yeah.
what do you do?
What do you do?
Right. How do
Yeah,
you
what do you
defend
do?
that, Tim? How do you defend that, huh?
Man, I think if you're the Chiefs, I think look at what they did in the first half, or look what Josh Allen did to them in the first half, then look how they played defense in the second half, and they really shut down. They took away that run game from Josh, and that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to really come up the middle hard. You're going to have to put pressure up the middle and contain on the outsides and stay disciplined. There's one thing that we know about the Chiefs teams. They're going to be disciplined. Andy Reid's going to have them ready to go. So I think they're going to have to find an alternate route than Lamar's legs, hopefully. The problem is it's so hard to stop him because they do have those designed runs and they do have the guards and the tackles pulling out. And then there's the misdirection plays that they do so well where they motion and it looks like a power one way, but then Lamar's taken off the other way, but half your defense is over this way. So it's going to be a little bit of a chess match from that standpoint.
I mean, you know what, Tim? Let's actually elaborate on that because I'm with you. I think if there was a defense to slow down Lamar, a hot defense like the Kansas City Chiefs could do it. So let's actually elaborate on that. What'd you see in that Chiefs and Bills game?
Well, the first half I saw Josh Allen be dominant and do what he wanted to do. And then I saw a couple drop balls and I saw some penalties and I saw the Bills do what the Bills typically do. And that's kind of imploded a little bit. Meanwhile, the Chiefs just stayed steady, right? They had a couple big plays out of Travis Kelce, who has, disappeared the last couple weeks, last quarter of the season probably. We've all been talking about, where is Travis Kelce? And all of a sudden, the defense doesn't know where he is. He's wide open for touchdowns, right? And then he catches the screen and runs over a few guys and dives like young Travis Kelce into the end zone. The Chiefs came to play, and it looked to me like their season starts in the playoffs. That's just who the Chiefs are. To me, they're the new Patriots. Our season starts in the playoffs. We'll be good enough to get to the playoffs, and then you don't want to see us. And that's 100% true because the Bills had zero reason to lose that game. I feel like, Josh Allen is getting a lot of crap in the media and from his own fans, but he did everything you could possibly do to win that game. And, his teammates let him down, and that defense really became a sieve. Pacheco was a huge difference as well, and he's going to have to be a difference this week. I just don't know if he's going to be able to run against that Baltimore defense.
Almost impossible.
But, we count out this run team. We count out the Chiefs all year, and then they make us look like fools time after time, just like the Patriots used to do. This is Andy Reid's 10th conference championship game as a coach.
Wow.
I just trust Andy Reid at this point, and I refuse to bet against Patrick Mahomes is what I saw against the Bills.
Different, man. Damn.
I just think it's going to be tough going in Baltimore, though.
Oh, man.
I do. They're a different team, Tim.
Different than Bills Mafia? Bills Mafia is tough. I mean, if we're talking about just going to Baltimore.
They're nasty, man. They won titles.
I'll continue
they know what it's like.
I'll say one thing that I seen from the game. If the Chiefs can't stop the quarterback design runs, it's gonna be a long night.
It's a wrap.
Over.
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
Josh Allen had some success, but he's not Lamar.
If we're talking about blueprints,
Not Lamar Jackson.
if we're talking about blueprints, yeah, he just gave us a blueprint last week.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure did.
Thank you, Josh Allen.
But,
All right, Nui,
the Chiefs did make an adjustment. And you know who made a big impact on that quarterback run game in that second half was Chris Jones. Chris Jones is going to have to bring his A game from start to finish, and he's going to have to get that push up the middle to make Lamar uncomfortable.
Yes, Kobe. The Bills are the Bills.
I'll highlight that later.
Told you.
Nui, what the hell happened in that game for you, bud?
Man, I really focused in on the matchup, the Brady versus Manning part 2 kind of style, right? I mean, these two went at it, man. It was a good game. We were excited. There were some big throws. There were some unfortunate, drops, but Josh Allen left it out on the field, man. Sometimes you got to take that underneath, man, when it's cover 4. He only got 2nd and 10,
Yeah, that was a bad read.
I
say he's a wild stallion, but damn it, I like it. But jeez,
Why even try to score with a minute 55 left, though? Why are you even trying to give Patrick Mahomes the ball back?
And that's the only thing I have a problem with Josh Allen. His understanding of game situation sometimes. Sometimes you got to take the simple play and build momentum. And sometimes you just go for the gusto because he have a big arm. But that's my biggest thing. That's why it was so hard for me when people say Josh Allen. I'm like, yeah, he make the great plays, but he still make them freshman throws like, come on, man. So it's just one of the things. He's talented, so now he's got to learn to start taking the check down, take the simple throws, and make the game more easier. Like I said, he can do everything as a quarterback. He can make the deep throws, the short throws. I just feel like they got to add another wide receiver too to make them more dominant. They need another wide receiver.
Absolutely.
I think Diggs run over with. It's just too much.
Oh my God!
It's just too much.
I'm so glad
taking words out of my mouth right now.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm so glad you said it first because I didn't want to be the bad guy later.
You're taking words out of my mouth right now. I want him to finish though.
And when it's time. Like it's just one of them things where it's just too much going back and forth. I think they need to go get a younger receiver to add to what they have and move forward because they got all the right pieces. They got a young running back, a great young tight end. So I think they're gonna be cool. It's just they got to get over that hump. But I just think the relationship between Diggs and Allen had came to it's at a sour point right now. You can tell if your quarterback and your receiver is not having fun and enjoying each other, then you can pretty much see the chemistry is not there. It's hard to play when you're frustrated.
That's a fact.
How about
I don't know about that.
Receiver
I have no idea about that. Poor guy. Listen, man. What shocked me the most, what the hell to me? I've never seen a quarterback damn near throw 40 passes in under 200 yards. I've never seen that.
No, he didn't throw the ball 40 times. He dropped back.
He threw the ball.
He threw the ball 40 times.
39 times.
I couldn't wait for this. I couldn't wait for this. Is it my go? Is it my go? I can't wait for this. This was your time to shine, Josh Allen. This was your time to shine.
You're gonna bring the slander. Okay.
Hear me out. Hear me out here. This was your time to shine. You know what I mean? That Kansas City defense really showed up. They balled out. You know what I mean? Besides Josh Allen being Josh Allen, and he has some great runs, all right? But that's just going to happen. You know what I mean? His style of football, that's going to happen. That's okay. But his overall game, they couldn't move the chains. They struggled to move the chains in critical moments. All game.
And that comes from the lack of the run game as a running back.
They couldn't run it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They tried. James Cook had 18 carries. That's not Bills football. That's not normal. They tried. They tried to give him the rock. He averaged 3.4 yards a carry. They couldn't run on him. That defense was phenomenal. And let's talk about it. I love that he said that. I think the Stephon Diggs, he's a really, really, really good Robin. You know what I mean? He's like the best number 2 wide receiver in the league if you have the right number 1.
I like that. He'd be a good number 2.
Tim, he'd be a great number 2.
Tim, I'm gonna give you a great example, Tim. Just like with your Cowboys with Gallup. Gallup was balling. Then when he moved into the number 2 spot, he disappeared. Like I said, it's easy when you're the third receiver and you're going against that your third best DB. You know what I'm saying? So now when people start game planning for you, he be fading in and out. So they brought in Cooks. So it's just one of them things where I just feel like, in order for the Bills to get over that hump, they're gonna have to go get another running back and another receiver for them to get over the hump.
Yep. Yeah, and I agree with you. They definitely need a run game, and they had that right in the last quarter of the season. It's really what propelled them to the playoffs was they were able to run the ball, and even in their first playoff game, James Cook had a good game. He had close to 100 yards. I don't know what happened against the Chiefs. He just couldn't run the football, and when you can't do that, the Bills went back to. And I put a little onus on the coaching staff because the Bills went to Josh Allen, please save us. And it's getting old to just have the coaching staff go, hey, Josh, save us. Because then he is trying to throw a touchdown with 1:55 left because he thinks he has an opening, not thinking about, shit, I'm going to give Patrick Mahomes 1:55 to go down and win the game, right? You need to melt the clock to do that. Throw it underneath the Diggs. But that's got to come from the sideline, right? That's got to be, hey, here's the call. Do not throw it to the end zone. Do not give Patrick the ball back. So I feel like the coaching staff is sort of letting him down throughout the game as well. But he also has to work on his in-game IQ.
You have to understand down and distance and understanding in situational football. You're a pro quarterback. You're a $100 million quarterback. You can't. This is why we pay you.
He doesn't understand.
It's not my job to coach you to understand that. You should already know that.
Well, coaches have to take some response. I've heard
video when you got a drive route and
Bill Walsh telling Joe Montana, don't do this, do this. If this isn't there, do this right before he goes into the huddle. So don't tell me that coaches don't coach up their quarterbacks.
I mean, I get that.
Hey, Tim, do you know that man's contract?
He should know that.
Do you know
I
his
get it.
I called
contract?
that play
I
as an
get it.
OC quarterback.
Have the conversation. Be a
As an
coach.
OC quarterback,
Do
you should
something.
know why I'm calling that play.
Do something. We've had those conversations, Brandon, before
But you
play.
didn't have
And
to
if
come and
maybe
tell
it's
me,
not
like, hey,
for
this is
you.
why I
Maybe it's
did that.
maybe it's for my peace of mind that we're on the same page. Have the conversation with the kid. Somebody's got to reel him in.
God, dude,
That's all I'm
it's
saying.
like he's so talented, but he almost lost the game again with the fumble, not protecting it. Dude, get your ass down. You're at the 40.
But hey, you know what,
Chill.
Tim? Let me point out something else because I don't want to do a complete bashing session on Josh Allen. Let's talk about there's a misconception that this Bills defense
with Josh
is dominant, but I've seen this
No.
Bills defense fold in playoff games year after year now.
Year after
They're
year.
really,
after
really
year.
good. They've been really good.
I told
Regular
you that,
season,
Tim, they
they're
were good.
ballers. Wild card weekend, they're ballers. In them critical moments, they folded. Remember the last meeting? It was a shootout.
I do.
Remember this meeting? Let's talk about this meeting. Y'all paid Vaughn all that money, no sacks, no turnovers, no interceptions.
But do you think it's his knee, though? I mean, he did make some good plays, though. Let's not
But
take that away
everybody-
from him.
Not
He was
one
making some
sack.
plays.
Y'all couldn't put him on the ground once.
I mean, can anybody really sack Mahomes?
But you have to, number two seed.
The Bills
You have
defense
to.
looked just they look like they weren't even there. The Chiefs ran right through them.
Right through him.
Right through them.
And the Chiefs just, and I feel like maybe this me, but I don't feel like the Chiefs as good as they was losing Eric Bieniemy as they OC. I feel like
Yeah, they're not as explosive.
No, I don't think they're as explosive.
They're not as explosive at all.
That's 3 weeks in a row, Tim.
Now wait a minute, because we had
3 weeks in a row.
we had a guest last week that was on our show that played for the Kansas City Chiefs that was very clear that said, make no mistake, the offense runs through Andy Reid. Period.
But
So,
while also
I
saying
think
that
a lot-
offense misses Eric Bieniemy.
Can we think
Said
that maybe the Juju Smith-Schuster was a big miss? Being the team that led the league in drops was a big miss. I mean, they led the league in drops. If they had 29 drops on the year, if you don't have 29 drops, it's a lot different.
Eric Bieniemy was probably a passing coordinator and putting together different matchups and telling Andy Reid to run this. They don't run very many wheel routes. They don't run very many deep over routes like they used to. It's all option-based routes, quick screens. Pat Mahomes has been screening away all year. Majority of his touchdowns, even during his MVP year, were behind the line of scrimmage. It was like 15 of them. Come on, bro.
I'm just
They
saying
got to
what-
stretch the damn
what-
field,
what
man.
the
They got to
Chiefs
stretch the field.
players
And I don't
said.
think they can
That's
do
what
it
the
against
Chiefs
Baltimore.
players said.
Baltimore's players are so long. I didn't realize that until we played them. I was like, these motherfuckers are huge.
Huge.
Yeah,
They're
they are.
huge, and they
Huge.
cover so much ground. Like it's just the radius, right?
It's how they
So these
recruit.
little small windows, like they
Big
were
guys.
tipping Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy looked like a 5'7" quarterback when they played. I was like, shit, we got to figure this out. Get them hands down. But I think they're gonna get Pat the Blues, brother. I really
Man,
do.
I think it's gonna be bad. I think it's gonna be bad.
You know what? I don't think it'd be bad for him. For one, I think this because one, Mahomes get the ball out quick and they know that. So
Does he?
A lot of quick game. It's gonna be a lot of quick game.
Yeah, but does he though? Sometimes he holds on to that motherfucker. Sometimes, you know what I mean?
they've been
Trying to
dominant.
buy time to make a play.
But he can't afford to hold it against the Ravens.
He
You know,
can't.
No,
Not
he
against
can't.
that. Not against that line.
when you facing a good pass rush all week, you thinking, okay, let me get the ball out quick. Let me see where my matchup is pre-snap read, so I can pretty much get the ball.
Pre-snaps everything in this game.
And you can do that. You can do that because you're able to run the ball, and they're just not running the ball on Baltimore. That's not happening.
Probably not.
They've been able to run on everybody
We ran
else.
the ball on Baltimore.
I'll tell you what.
They've been able to run on everybody.
The matchup
We
that's more scary to
steamrolled. We
me
just fucked
for the
up.
Chiefs is Kyle Hamilton is going to be the guy that's going to be responsible for Travis Kelce. And if
But we're
you
gonna
guys haven't
talk about
watched
that
Kyle
later,
Hamilton this year. He's number
talk about
one
that.
in percentage of pass coverage in the NFL.
We're gonna talk about
which
that.
means that when he covers somebody, you simply don't catch the ball.
We're gonna talk about that, Tim.
To me, that's the matchup that
Yeah.
we're looking at.
I can't wait.
We
for
got
that.
so much to talk about
I
on
know.
that, right?
Let's actually keep it moving. Let's go to the next game.
Games now.
Let's go to the next game. That was for the AFC. Let's roll over to the NFC side. We had the Packers and the 49ers in a way closer game than I thought it should have been. But Tim, what you see? What the hell happened?
Rainy game, man.
Man, I saw a quarterback in Jordan Love that put his stamp on the Green Bay Packers and said, "This is my team." Right? He played outstanding until the final drive, where sometimes buttholes get tight in those tight moments, and his certainly did. And he just kind of threw that shit up to nobody. I think in his mind, he thought he really was Aaron Rodgers and could just do something impossible on that last play. But before that, he was good. He was really, really good.
He was damn good.
I felt like the 49er defense disappointed me a little bit. They weren't as stout as what I expected from them. But Brock Purdy impressed me once again. He completed big-time third-down throws when he had to. He made plays with his feet when he needed to. Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey, too, just the calm, even with Debo out, they were just calm and steady the whole game, and really, really impressive from that standpoint. So the 49ers, good for them. Brock Purdy, really coming through in the fourth quarter. That showed a lot of maturity over the last year and shows that he's got it here. It's very Brady-ish at this young age to be able to do that.
I loved it.
That type of game. So it was impressive.
I don't disagree.
I don't
agree.
What you think? Man, I love him, man. I love the way that he learned. At the end, I just think he just rushed. He just lost track of game management and trying to make a big play. I think if he throw the ball away and live another down, he would be all right. I will say this though, the Packers gonna be good too. I ain't gonna lie, he surprised me. I didn't think he was that good at first, but then over the course, I started watching him. He can make every throw.
That's a bad boy.
Effortlessly,
dude.
Effortlessly.
We were calling him Brett Rogers in the chat.
Yeah, Brett Rogers.
That's what he looked
Effortlessly, he can throw it. Like, it's stupid.
Yeah.
And he's only going to get better.
I know it. Oh.
And with the 49ers, I feel like, and Newey can attest to this too, I feel like, I'm not making no excuses, but it's hard to stay in game mode when you've been off for so long. And I feel like it was rust. And I feel like it was just a lack of not playing for a while. I'm not making no excuses, but you can tell you can see when we start hitting our stride late in the fourth quarter, they start getting their legs back under them. Like I said, but that layoff that's why I don't like buys like that. Them layoffs.
Me either. I hate them. I mean, listen, we still put up over 350 yards of total offense. It may have looked ugly, right? We're in a damn monsoon, but one thing I will say, man, Jordan Love's a stud.
Yes, sir.
Their young talent is really good, and kudos to those guys doing a great job. I mean, they almost stole one, and they should have stole one, but hey, we capitalized on it. I love that it was a good hard fought close game.
Yeah,
because those are the games that we need. Kyle Shanahan in his era, as we all know, is 0-30 when trailing by 7 points or right.
Anymore.
That one was so major because it gives them confidence. Like, hey, we can battle and win close games. We can figure it out, right? And so Kyle Shanahan, my boy Mo was telling me about this. He reminds me, you guys all watch The Waterboy, right? Mm-hmm. And with the coach Henry Winkler, when he gets all nervous, the coach, when he's up by a lot, shit look good, right? That shit get tight, boy. He start fading the back and shit. Get your fucking ass up, man. Like he's a great play caller, but we have to keep Kyle away from Kyle. Kyle does Kyle crap. And we all know this as an offensive coordinator. Just run your show, man. Don't get too cute, right? If Brock couldn't throw the ball, there's a reason. Yes, I understand they have 6 in the box. 6 in the box, you can still run the damn ball because we have one of the best running backs in the effing game. I don't understand that. Well, they got 6 on the box. You got to take it in the spread. Like, no, you can still run, right? Protect that. It's a hat for a hat. Christian's got to make a guy miss. Let's just get 4 yards and keep moving. Keep Love off the field because obviously he has no rain problems, but Brock did. And when the game mattered, when the game was on the line, shit, he delivered. And that's all I can ask for out of my QB. It's the playoffs, bro. You got to win ugly. Who gives a damn? Just win. Win the game.
I would say Cal has so much confidence in Purdy because now, like we was talking before we got on, Newey, back in the past when it was third,
he wasn't letting Jimmy
running the ball. Now
he wasn't letting Jimmy throw that bitch at all.
He's like, get out there, yeah.
30 and 12. So
yeah, we running the ball 40 times a game. Jimmy gonna get 22 minimum.
That's
max. Excuse me, max. 22 max. Like, yeah, bro. Purdy's for real, bro, and I love how everybody keeps hating. I love it because he's still a kid.
It's
And he's
bizarre.
only going to get better. He's only going to get better. And when this game slows down, watch out.
It's such confusing hate. I don't get
It's
it.
stupid. It's because he's not drafted high. He wasn't supposed to be here, but yet he is.
If a first round quarterback is not playing very good, right? This early in his career, we say give him time.
Bust. Yeah. Or bust. Or we call him a bust, depending on who he is.
Yeah,
Depending on who he is, a lot of but most times, even Trey Lance.
Trey
Trey
Lance
Lance
had
was
the
like,
same team, man.
Give him time.
Same
You know
team.
what I mean?
He had
Give
the
him
same team.
on the same team. Give him time. But this kid, for some reason, because he has shown flashes of greatness, he can't have time now. It makes no sense.
They throw around the
feel
word
like
elite
Purdy
too much, man.
I feel like Purdy gets so much backlash because of the simple fact they feel like he has so many weapons around him that he make it. That's like being a point guard when you playing with the Golden State Warriors and you averaging 12 assists. They're gonna be like, well, you supposed to average 12 assists. You playing with Steph, Clay, and some of the best shooters in the NBA. So I just feel like you can't. That's not his fault that he has great supporting cast. That's not his fault.
He
The other
still has
quarterbacks
to make
did.
the read
Hold on.
before the snap. He has to get the ball in the right place, and all those superstars have to follow him, and they do.
And he
you
made
listen
it.
to what they say in the locker room. You know, he has all of their respect, and in clutch moments, he comes through. Right,
They're
and
not
the question
worried about him.
was without Debo, with Debo in sweatpants on the sideline, what was going to happen to Brock? And Brock stood up.
He didn't
He
fold.
stepped up. He played well. I agree with you, Prentice. He gets a lot of unfair criticism because of the talent around him. But you know what? You still have to be the guy. They still need a trigger guy, right?
this might
Everybody's not able. And obviously, Trey Lance wasn't able. They didn't feel like Jimmy Garoppolo was able. So far, this kid has gone to 2 NFC title games. And I feel like if he doesn't get hurt last year, they beat the Eagles. So
Easily.
to me, Brock
Mop
Purdy
him.
is underrated because of the lack of flash, which is that's what we crave. That's what we crave to talk about on NFL Network and ESPN and First Take. We want to talk flash and you run 4.4, you can hurdle this guy. It's when Tom Brady did it, it was boring. Now Brock Purdy's doing it. Oh, he's boring. He's checked down. It's the weapons around him. It's tiring to listen to because that's not it. He's put in the work.
Everybody's saying that about everybody was saying that about Brady though, man. Saying the same shit for a long time.
Let me say something before I talk about that game. Let me say something about Brock Purdy that doesn't make any sense to me. You want to know why? And I've been saving this one for a couple of weeks too, because I've been wanting to let y'all, pop y'all shit. 49ers, do y'all thing. My mama's a 49er, fan. Bang bang.
She's
all
a
that.
diehard fan.
You know what
bro.
I'm saying? Die hard.
Big
You know what I'm saying? One of the she's a bigger fan than both of y'all. It's crazy. Simply, there's a simple point that I don't understand. I don't want to talk about these weapons no more. Kill that conversation because it's kind of pissing me off. Because clearly, I guess we're just couch coaches and maybe we do know more than all of y'all do, right? But here's a fact. You want to talk about weapons. The 49er history, Jerry Rice, he has 22,000 yards. He is number 1. Number 2 is Larry Fitzgerald. Number 3, a 49er, Terrell Owens. 16,000 yards.
T.O. was
Both of these
amazing.
guys have played on the 49ers, and I'm screaming because it's pissing me off. They played for the 49ers, and you mean to tell me Brock Purdy is the all-time leader in passing in the season?
Well, the game's different now.
I don't care what the game is. It don't matter.
It's not. He
talking about
actually had
number one?
lesser passing attempts than Steve Young did.
Do you know
We're
that
talking about number 1?
he's the
We're
only
talking
guy in
about
the
number
league?
3 all time. So I don't want to talk about no weapons because guess what? Debo is good. Debo's good, but he's a Swiss Army knife. George Kittle's good. He's good, but he ain't even the best tight end in the league. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. Brandon Ayuk is trending. And he's going to be a
top 10
really,
in the
really
game,
good wide
top
receiver.
10 receiver in the game.
He's going to be a really, really good wide receiver. He shows me flashes of that same Stephon Diggs we were talking about earlier. Okay? Great, though.
Ooh.
Great.
He did make clutch catches, though.
Clutch. And there was some balls that was,
He has more separation than any receiver in the league this year.
Hey, Brandon.
And he gets
I'm not
less targets.
I'm not downplaying Brandon Ayuk. I'm just saying, if we want to talk about greatness, you better believe that greatness starts with Jerry Rice and Terrell Owens, and their quarterbacks do not have the highest passing in 49er history.
True.
So I don't care what the scheme was. I don't care how it was drawn up. I don't care who was on the field. They don't hold that record. That's special. I don't care that the game has changed. He did it.
Well, let's talk about his efficiency too, because I'm going to tell you something that speaks to how efficient he was with it. He had, I forget the number, but less passes, 444 pass attempts this year, which is the only guy in the top 15 ranked quarterbacks in the NFL with less pass attempts than Lamar Jackson. He also had 1,000 more yards passing than Lamar, having about 100 less attempts than him, which to me is incredible because that talks to your efficiency. He also had one of the higher passer ratings as well in the NFL throughout the entire season. It never stopped. And that comes from IQ, preparation, how you approach the game, and getting the ball out of your hand. Sure, the system is what the system is. You still got to get back there and do it. I hate the term system quarterback because that tells me that any quarterback in the league could go to San Francisco right now and do what he is doing. But Jimmy had the same team and didn't look this good. Trey Lance had the same team, didn't look this good. So everybody can't do it. So it's not just the system.
I agree.
Period.
But
I'm glad we all agree.
Yeah, we agree. And I'm sorry I had to go on a rant, but it's been pissing me off.
Man. Thank you for that Brock Purdy appreciation rant.
Well, it's a fact that's been overlooked, and I don't know how it's not talked about.
It's extremely strange.
Everybody has an agenda, man.
George Kittle is the best tight end in football right now.
Period. No question.
Ooh, I don't know about that. I don't know. There's so many good young tight ends in the game.
He can block like great blocker, great receiver, great hands, great yards after catch, great separation.
Have you seen Laporta?
Have you seen Kittle?
Have you seen Knox in Buffalo?
They're younger.
I mean, you got some young studs out there.
Yeah.
Hey, answer this question. We need a big play in this crucial.
I have to talk on the podcast.
In the pass game, I got to go to Kittle.
Okay.
For sure. Because you know why? That's the best security blanket for a quarterback is a big tight end.
So as an offensive coordinator, Newy as a quarterback, most of the time tight ends is your go-to. Just like before Mark Andrews got hurt in Baltimore. That was Lamar's go-to before he got was So you know, one of them things where that's a security blanket. I always feel like he's a massive problem. A safety can't guard him. A linebacker can't guard him. He's just a matchup nightmare, and they have both ways.
Yep, I agree with you 100%.
Can I just? I want to throw out my small argument. Okay, all right, and I got to be a homer here. Now I do think Kittle is him, but his fellow classmate T.J. Hockenson. Mm-hmm. If he played 2 more games, because he missed 2 games, Kittle had 1,020. He had 6 touchdowns. T.J. Hockenson had 960, 5 touchdowns. He had 114 receptions. Kittle had 65. Mm-hmm. Now, what Kittle was doing after catch is special. There's nobody like him. I don't think there's anybody like him what he can do after the catch. But I think as far as getting open, like finding these holes, T.J. Hockenson is like special at that. I think Kittle's just a freak.
What about Travis Kelce? We're not even going to mention Travis or put him in the mix. He's a hell of a
He's in the mix, but I just think those guys this year, they finally passed him.
Yeah. One thing I'm not going to never take it away from Kelce, but Kelce have more free range. You know, him and Mahomes got that special.
Right. He lines up off the line all the time.
They can pretty much run their own routes. You know, so I've never taken away nothing from Kelce. He's one of my top 3 tight ends. I love the way he plays. Try to get open. I love everything about it. But I just feel like, and I always say this, to be a complete, I feel like you got to be a complete. And it ain't no knock on him because they don't ask him, but Kelce don't block. Like,
thank you. And he missed the block. And he missed the block to help the fumble happen. He said it on his podcast. He was like, "It was my fault." It's like, yeah, because your ass can't block. You coded receiving now. You can't block for shit.
He's distracted.
You too damn big to nudge.
He's distracted.
Get your big ass in them
He be
trenches.
olaying, boy.
His girlfriend's in the stands. He's thinking
don't
about
do it.
Swifty
Trying to be
stuff all
too
the time
pretty.
now.
Don't do it.
Being Chelsea.
But let me dive into the game though. Let me get about what the hell happened in that game. Because the one thing I saw was, and I don't like it. You know, as a Vikings fan, this is one thing you don't want to see. It's the makeup of the Green Bay Packers is so dangerous because they're the youngest team in the NFL. If you didn't know, which is stupid. Like how? You know what I mean? At every position, and then. We forgot Aaron Jones was dominant. I don't know. Maybe people did because I saw some dominance against a 49ers front that you shouldn't be able to run on the fashion that he was able to run on. He really ran down their throat. If that was a blueprint. That should scare the 49ers, how easy Aaron Jones was able to run on that defense. You should worry about that.
Aaron Jones always been a good back. He just stayed injured.
Right.
So if you go back in the playoffs, even against Dallas back a couple of years ago, he always had big games in Dallas when they played Dallas. Though he always. He just one of them sneaky running backs that don't get a lot of coverage that people don't give him his credit for. I like him as a running back. He can do it all. He can run the stretch. He can go downhill. He can get the screen. He can take a 60-yard run. I like him. And like I said, he showed he had me nervous a little bit because, like you said. Too many people don't run the ball on our defense like that.
No.
Facts.
They don't.
Hey, did you realize
it looked easy and it looked dangerous, you know what I mean, especially for the future of this team. They get to go and play a second place schedule next year, so it's not going to be a gauntlet for them. You know what I mean? They have some money now. They haven't had a lot of wiggle room for years, and they have money. So I do worry about that team. On the other side, the 49ers, man, that's what you wanted to see. I thought this was going to be a difficult game for the 49ers regardless. You know what I mean? I don't care how it happened. The fashion that it happened this way might even be better for the 49ers in their story.
I agree. Sometimes you got to win ugly. Like me and you.
Yeah.
Win them ugly games. See, if you really battle tested, like I said, it's easy to play to be on top when you playing in front. But like I said, I love he stayed composed. He never got rattled. And moving forward, I think this was a big step for him. You know, he finally got the monkey off his back. People say you can't. He let
check mark, checkmate, check.
And let me go back to what you said about Green Bay. Just to go back a little bit, you got to realize Green Bay receiver core young. They receive about they receiver core so young. And
they're good, man.
And they're all 2 years or younger.
Youngest team in the league.
Jordan Love and them young receivers, and they add one more piece. I feel like they gonna have something major. Now, what the bigger factor is what Jair gonna do. Jair leave, then they gonna have to replace that. So other than that, but if they make a couple more moves in the offseason, they're gonna be show next year.
Do you realize that was the first 100-yard rusher in 50 games for the Niners defense?
Yes.
That should make you really nervous, though, going into this week.
It doesn't, because it's 1 out of 50, bro. That's 1 out of 50. I like my chances. I like the odds here.
Let me. One guy can do that. What can two guys do to y'all?
In 50 games, Tim. 50 games.
Well, okay, you haven't played this run game that Detroit's bringing.
I know they're good.
But I say this, Tim. Detroit run game fits our scheme. They run a lot of zone. They run a lot of outside zone. You know, so with our linebackers, red and green, that's right up our alley. And I just feel like they offensive line not physical as our defensive line. Like I said,
so, you're right.
You know him and Nui know the game is one of the trenches. If I feel like we can dominate in the trenches with Armstead, with Bosa, with Young, and I feel like
Gregory, all these guys got to get going.
Yeah, and then another thing, if you really watch the game, they really didn't get the kickoff. Like I said, Nui, you know, as a quarterback, if we hit him, even if we don't get the sack, just hit him around, knock him off his spot, He
gonna play different.
Yeah.
If you let him sit there and be a platform thrower, he's gonna pick us apart.
He can tear our ass up. He can go.
Yes.
So I want to point out two more things in that game. One is just that it might be a little disturbing and I wonder like how you move forward from it. I think the second round pick is worthy of Chase Young, but I don't see a first round talent anymore. I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe they saw something, that something about his game that's missing. I think he can be good. I think he's gonna be very serviceable, especially when you got Bosa on the other side. But
you know why I feel like the 49ers went and got him? I feel like the 49ers went and got him, so Bosa wouldn't get double teamed as much. And they bring Young in, they feel like it's gonna elevate Bosa to go play. College teammates gonna compete against each other. And like I said, in his defense too, he coming back off a knee injury, so he working his way back. Like you said, he's not a dominant player, but I feel like he still can be effective in the game. Like, I agree with you. It's been times where I've been watching too. I've been like, man, I don't know. But then he showed me flashes of the old Chase Young. Right. I just like once
takes plays off.
This week right here, he has to show up big. Right. This is the week that we
if
need.
He's not, he's gone.
Right. So there's one more thing I want to point out, and I think it's so effing big. Excuse my French. It's huge, right? And no one's gonna talk about it in no media outlet because ain't nobody thinking about it. But there's a reality. Well, we're gonna talk about it on the Couch Coach. Y'all know because y'all are fans, right? Mm-hmm. Moody is a really good kicker. He's a good kicker. And you can say that, but you got to remember, he's young.
I miss Robbie Gold.
He
miss shit in play.
That's fine. But hey, hold on. You got to look at the future, right? There's been he's made some good kicks down the stretch. But let's what I want to point out was the last time he missed multiple kicks, or the first time was against the Browns. Mm-hmm. What happened? Y'all lost.
Mm-hmm.
The next time he missed a big kick was against the Vikings. What happened? Y'all lost. He don't miss another field goal until this game. And at that time,
and we won.
I'm like, ooh, that's not good. That wasn't good. This is a playoff game. This was a close game, and we need to be able to trust you to make a field goal. That was serious. Bounce back. And he made a field goal. And I think that was huge.
That's big.
That was huge. And it was 52 yards, too. That was huge.
All that just to say that the kicker's good now?
No, but it's major for the psyche of a 24-year-old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He came from Michigan, man. He's got the right psyche. He's good.
I get it, but you got to remember what they're used to.
We're used to Robbie Gold never missing.
Robbie Gold was amazing.
But he won at $9 million. He won at $9 million. I was like,
they're used to Robbie
the Bears
Gold,
let him
guy.
go ever to San Francisco to begin with.
So my man needed
that retirement money.
He needed to be able to clean that up and go make a field goal in clutch moments. And that happened. And I think that was huge for the 49ers. And it's going to be huge the rest of the way. Don't get it twisted.
Okay.
You don't got Robbie Gold. But let's keep on going. Let's go to that last game.
That's all I'm going to say is don't be shocked.
Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked. But let's go to that last game. The Detroit Lions and the Buccaneers. Tim, what you see?
I'm going to tell you what I saw, first of all. Before we get into it, I got to talk about Baker Mayfield. I know they lost the game, but if we go back to the very first episode of this year, Coach Couch, our very first one, I told y'all Baker Mayfield was the real deal.
You did
he was
say
going to have a good season. Tampa Bay was going to win the division, and that the Buccaneers would make a playoff run, and they did just that. So I just want to clarify that and get, take my kudos. Yes, sir. What would you like to say, Pizzo?
Let me say this, because a lot of people say this. I will say this. I'm not an OU fan by any means, but I will say this. Baker Mayfield played like he was at OU. He was making some of the most incredible throws possible. I feel like Baker finally found where he's comfortable and he can play with swag again.
Yeah. And it's all football for him, right? He's not into all the other stuff. He's just locked in. I think he's willing to take less money to keep Mike Evans on the team. I think, they have a great relationship. I loved everything we saw from Baker.
Do y'all feel like he revived Mike Evans' career this year?
No.
I feel Mike Evans been that dude.
Yeah, I feel like Mike Evans has been that guy. Now he had was last year with Brady and the Buccaneers kind of falling off a little bit of a down year. Yeah, but he's still been 1,000-yard receiver every year.
But it just showed him at 30 years old that he's still that guy.
Yeah, I feel like maybe more.
I feel like he brung his confidence back out of. Mike was playing with more confidence this year. Baker was making some throws, and Baker was getting him back to his group. The last couple of years, you watch Mike Evans. He had been playing. He's been up and down, but this year I got to say,
Baker does tend to push the ball. Baker pushes the ball down the field more than Brady would do, so that it makes sense because that's what Mike likes to do. He likes to get vertical and take the top off. So I see what you're saying. It did kind of, especially in the red zone, right? There was
struggling
a lot
last
more
year
touchdowns outside the 30.
He only had
routes.
He only had 9 more targets this year. He only had He only had 2 more receptions this year. He only had 100 more yards, but he had a lot more touchdowns.
It looked different. It looked
7 more touchdowns.
It looked different, yeah.
I think Baker's earned his right.
So I saw a team in the Buccaneers that fought hard. I don't understand Todd Bowles not calling a timeout at the end and at least trying to fight for another shot. That bothered me. Otherwise, I saw a team that, probably missing a few pieces, probably need to, did anybody think they were going to be in that game? Probably not.
Somebody had some money on the line.
So, but then I saw the Lions take care of business.
It's so important.
It's a rough offseason for them.
Timeout when it was 3rd and 12, so I still didn't understand that the football clock management.
Right. I didn't understand.
What do you think? What do you think he was thinking? Like I've been trying to make sense of it, but I can't. Like what do you think?
He thought the only thing I could think is that he thinks if I call timeout, they're going to kick the field goal and it doesn't matter. But it would have been a really long field goal to attempt. So from the other side, you have to think: do we want to take a shot on this field goal and getting it blocked, or they probably punt the ball and pin you inside the 10 with 30 seconds left, right? And so you have to take that shot, though, because with 30 seconds, I guarantee if we're in that game in 2016 and we're down with 30 seconds, I got Prentice in one ear, New in the other, going, "Hey, we're going to score. We're going to find a way, right?" And I'm sure Baker and Mike Evans and Godwin, they wanted a chance at least with the ball in their hands, and that was taken away from them. And I don't know what Bowles was thinking, to be honest, but that's the only thing I could think is that, well, they'll kick the field goal, but if I'm the Lions, I don't kick a field goal in that situation. I punt
they never do. It's the Lions. Yeah. That's what I didn't get. That's the part I didn't get. It's the Lions. If it was any other team, maybe. But it's the Lions. They going for it anyways.
Right. Well, they might have gone for it. So there you go. I didn't get it, but hey, the Lions, proud of them, man. It's a great story. You got a great coach there who has inspired that team, inspired that city. I feel like it's a new day in Detroit. It's a great story for NFL historians, right, that have been watching the NFL our entire lives. And here they are back in the NFC title game after 33 years, I think it is. So it's cool. And they did the right things. They ran the ball well. Gibbs really impressed me. Montgomery, you expect him to get those tough yards, but Gibbs, man, he hit a gear on Winfield in that game, the safety who had the angle, and it was just like turbo, like holy shit, is this a Madden game?
That's all pro. That's all right? Pro.
And then he stiff-armed him at the end. I mean, gave him a little at the end. So Jared Goff played great, right? He made those not great. He played good enough. He 2 touchdowns. He didn't turn the ball over. Everything comes off play action for him. And when that run game is popping late in the game, Jared Goff did enough to win the game. And it was unfortunate Baker had that interception at the beginning, which I think probably just changed the whole momentum of the game. That last interception, incredible play by that linebacker. By the way, his first interception in his 3 years in the NFL. But he called it. He knew that tight end likes to run those seam routes, so he knew it was coming. He kind of baited Baker a little bit, and he made an incredible play on the ball. You can't take anything away from the Lions, but proud of both teams, man. I thought they both laid it out there. It was a great game to watch.
Yeah. Noe, what did you see? What the hell happened?
Man, hard-fought game. Kudos to the Lions. They battled it out, but if I'm a Niner fan, I'm looking and I see a lot of holes here. I see a ton of holes, especially when, despite the Bucks not really keeping the run game going. They were averaging damn near 6 yards a carry. Right. And then we go and look at, the 2 turnovers hurt, but this is 5 weeks, Detroit Lions defense, that you have had a quarterback that has thrown for over 300 plus yards and multiple touchdowns.
5 in a row.
Be careful when you step into Santa Clara, brother.
Especially if you're allowing almost what. See, that boy Rachaad White has 6.1 average. If they just kept feeding him the ball,
just feed him the ball, and when they needed to score, the Bucks showed that they could score just like that.
It will.
And so I look at this. Yes, it's a great story. It's a great win. Hey, kudos to them, but they can't play like that versus us. Nor can they only average 4.4 yards a carry, and they rushed 26 times. That just tells me there was a couple of big plays that just happened and broke away. They didn't really run the ball the way we thought they ran the ball. They had a couple of breakaways. That's about it.
Yeah. Tampa Bay had a rough
But hey,
time.
great job, great story. I mean, there's nothing bad to say about them. It's just there's some holes there, and so they got to clean that up if they're trying to get to the top.
Like Megatron, who did that. But other than that, all that go out the window when they come to Santa Clara.
Man, I agree.
And it's beautiful weather too. It's like shit, dude.
Princess, so what'd you see? What the hell happened in that game for you?
Man, I just feel like the New Bucks got away from what they was doing best. They was running the ball, controlling the game. I just feel like the Detroit Lions do what they do best. They remind you of one of the old school run and shoot football teams that get up and down. They're gonna throw the ball, they're gonna mix it up a little. And one thing I will say, people don't give Goff enough credit. Goff can be making some tough throws. His arm strength is there. I feel like St. Brown, they got some good weapons. They do. I just feel like the only problem that I feel like they pose to us is I back in with Gibson and Ryan Logan. So with them speed guys, we're gonna have to play a lot of zone. Get behind them.
A lot of zone, and we like to play man hard on 1st and 10 or first and second down. I don't like it. It's a little risky, but man, I think with St. Brown, you at least got to bracket them or use some combo coverage, maybe some match coverage in there because that guy will torch you, and Reynolds will torch you. Williams will too.
I didn't like the fact that Williams brung in Logan Ryan. I just feel like the young guy Brown. He's more athletic, more young. I understand playoff experience matter, but in this day and age, it's a young man game now. If you can't keep up with them young receivers running them deep routes and deep crosses, so hey, 88 out the gate. So that's why
they got a couple guys that'll come in for one play and smoke you. Look, man, what I saw in this game, I saw 2 quarterbacks that couldn't be more perfect for their teams. And it was fun to see. Look, shout out to Tim. Like I'm talking about from episode 1. Episode 1, Tim was like Baker Mayfield. Look, and the situation, it just panned out. It's gonna be perfect. There is a I don't know if y'all know, but they're about to have a brutal offseason. Ooh.
It's a lot of free agents.
They have to make some very, very, very difficult decisions. You know what I mean? They have a plethora of people, household names on this team right now that are on the market. So I don't know. And a part of that is going to be, retaining Baker Mayfield, all pro Antoine Winfield, Mike Evans, Devin White. Jesus, it's like, man.
Didn't they bench Levante David? Or was it Devin White?
Yeah.
Devin White, but Yaya, that youngster is a baller.
Devin White's
number
gone.
0. Oh,
he's gonna
boy,
go.
That boy
He's
is for
gone.
real. But they averaged this great run average against the Detroit Lions, man. I don't want to knock the Detroit Lions because they got there. Shout outs to Detroit. But there's a part of me, they're still pretenders. And it's not because they're a division foe and I don't really like them like that, but they are pretenders to me because here's one thing you can't do, right? You can get away with playing the Packers and not having Debo. I mean, you can't get away with playing the Packers and not having Debo because Jared shuts down one side of the field. The Lions don't have that. They got Sutton. and Sutton been getting cooked. I'm talking about cooked. That boy is cheeks.
The Lions secondary is not good.
Justin Jefferson went platinum on him. Puka Nacua went platinum on him. CeeDee Lamb went platinum on him. What do you mean? Mike Evans just went platinum on that boy? Oh, my Lord.
He been on that hibachi grill.
What do you mean? Brandon Ayuk is about to... Y'all heard all them stats y'all was talking about Brandon Ayuk earlier? This man's separation game. He about to kill that boy. Oh, my God. I don't think it's going to be
an amazing game for Brock Purdy to shut everybody up.
I don't think it's going to be close.
Damn, not close. All right.
It might not, bro. We going to dive into that. It might not be.
That in a little bit.
They gonna smoke him, man. Like, look, this dude is not. He is cheeks. He's gonna get cooked. Cooked.
Hey, Zoe, like when we used to say, "Hey, man, this DB's ass, man. Let's throw that bitch."
Man, throw it on. And he wearing number 1. Throw it at him. What
he's like, throw it. He's like, put it at least a little bit above the top of his head. I want to make it over the head, bro. He's do some crazy shit. Nice play.
Remember, I said that. That's what the hell happened. For me this week with that game, and that'll wrap up the first quarter. This was our longest first quarter.
Wow, I love it though.
I love it, man. Thank you for being on this show, because actually, with it being the longest first quarter, this is my favorite first quarter because it was all facts.
Didn't you like that? Look at that.
Games. I felt it. I don't know. I got the energy, the vibes.
First quarter was an hour.
Wow, something about it. But this is, y'all know how we doing the second quarter. This is
this ain't a golf round.
The second quarter is just a little bit different, man. I do want to hop in the chat for a little bit, and if you know while we're doing that, if you can maybe peep, is anybody talking in the chat? If y'all haven't, please go follow us. That's at the Couch Coach Club, at the Couch Coach Club, everywhere like air. But what they talking about?
Man, this stat was going. This place was going crazy. Except it's really hard to stop Lamar. We had another one that's saying, "Hey, man, you're spot on." XO with the whole Josh Allen scenario. We had another one talking about Jabir Perkins, talking about shout out to Jabir, talking about Kittle being the best, most complete tight end. As I've been saying this, he says his blocking is what separates him from the rest. He can block in any position on the field, which is great. And then Lowe said, my man Superman said, tight ends are not just pass catchers. Tim, Kittle is the best tight end, period. Then we got another one. Roman, and let's just dive down. We had a couple Texan fans that came in like, yeah, we need to polish up the O-line and focus on that. That's our biggest thing. I know we went down the rabbit hole, but there was a lot of active messages in this. So
I want to talk about
probably about 100 right now.
I want to talk about a chat message because I said this last week, and you two folks, Brandon and XO, you laughed at me. But Carlos says, we are calling Justin Fields the next Lamar Jackson if he's drafted to San Francisco instead of Trey Lance. Boom. I like Carlos. Carlos is a smart man.
Well, it's Los. It's big Los. I don't think Justin has a quick enough clock to see what we need to see.
I don't think you haven't watched enough to
I've watched a whole lot of Justin. I understand he's athletic. Tim, I'm not talking about tougher runner than Lamar. I'm not talking about that.
Playing with 8.
I'm not talking about his athleticism, Tim. I'm not talking about his athleticism. I'm talking about his processor, being able to process information very quick.
He's not there yet.
This is a rhythm-based offense. I think he was struggling Kyle's offense. I don't think Kyle knows how to deal with those type of quarterbacks that have that uncanny ability to not only, throw the ball a mile, but also can separate when and take off when things break down. I don't think he knows how to keep him safe.
Let's just focus on the fact that
I don't know.
I'm not the only one here in the world on our show that has.
And yes, I wanted Justin Fields over Lance,
100%. That's all I wanted to say. Justin Fields can be that guy. He just needs to have the right coach.
Justin, run while you can. Get out of there if they don't draft Marvin Harrison.
Okay, let's get
in Chicago forever.
Let's keep it moving because we could talk about off season all day long. We're gonna do it in just a couple of weeks, so I don't even want to get started on that. Let's keep it rolling to the second quarter. And this second quarter is not about what's happening in the off season or in March or in April or May or this summer. It's about right now. This segment is called Making history. All right, and it's called making history because
Ooh,
a couple
this
of
is about to be a good
guys,
one.
a couple of guys here,
I
a
think
couple of
4.
teams here, a couple of coaches here can absolutely make history. So if you had to choose, make your case for what player, for what team, for what whoever this means the most to, who can make history this Sunday. Tim, who you got?
Man, who it means the most to? That's
And it's not even a Super Bowl yet. We're not even a Super Bowl.
we're not even at the Super Bowl. I
this
mean,
is right now.
the guy that's been in this game the most is Andy Reid. I don't think Andy Reid has anything to win by winning this game. And that I get that from his speech after they won last week's game. I feel like it's Super Bowl or bust for Andy Reid and those Chiefs. So I'm going to take him out of the equation. I'm going to say the Detroit Lions because they've never done it. They've never won this game. This is the second time in their history. By the way, they're one of the original 8 NFL teams. Nobody talks about that. They started in Racine, Wisconsin. They played as a team called the Spartans, I believe was their name, at Horlick Field, where I played quarterback for the Racine Raiders. They then got bought by a team out of Ohio, and then they got bought from Ohio and got moved to Detroit. Their first emblem was a yellow lion, and they had won like 6 championships. But in the Super Bowl era, they ain't never won shit. So to me, this is the biggest historically for the Detroit Lions to get to a Super Bowl. Yep, that's my story.
So are we talking teams, or are we going to talk players or quarterbacks? Because I think it's.
Well, he said
quarterbacks.
any coach, player,
that
team.
can really.
To me, historically,
Give
for the
me
most, it's got to be the
historic.
Lions.
Who's making
Gotta be the
history
Lions.
on Sunday?
I say Brock Purdy and I say Lamar.
I have to agree.
Now you just pick the winners. How is that history, though?
Because I say this because it'd be your first time Mr. Irrelevant. Then you got Lamar with all the off season going.
The running back.
You're going to get a Super Bowl out of me.
And one thing I can respect about Lamar, he betted on himself and he won. So I say that's why I pick Lamar. He betted on himself this offseason and he won.
I mean,
He sure
those
did, dog.
all 3 of those stories sound fantastic, right?
Mhm.
Yes, we could say the Niners advance and go and chase history, but I don't think we fail to realize Pat Mahomes could possibly be in his 4th Super Bowl in 5 years.
Stupid.
What the hell?
What?
Yeah, but
That's bro. Have you ever
I
heard
don't-
of that?
yeah, but
Have you ever heard of that?
Come on,
For
man.
Patty, I don't think that matters. I think what
Yes,
matters
it
to
does,
Patty is
because
that
But
he
it
wins
does,
the
though.
game, not that
He
wins the game.
understands he wins
But it
the
does,
game
though.
at 4 out of 5. Now you're chasing the GOAT.
I know.
Now
he's
you
chasing
really
him
have a
already.
shot.
Even if he don't win it. Even if he don't win it.
If he plays 20 years and he wins 2 Super Bowls each of the 5 years, he'll end up with 7. Right? I'm not a mathematician, but
a lot of people gonna
that's
jump on
huge,
me.
man.
A lot of people gonna jump on me for saying this, but I feel like at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, he gonna go down as the greatest.
Period.
Facts.
I mean, you might be
He's
right.
already number
You might be
2.
right about that.
Facts.
I think
And I
he's
think it's
number
going to
2.
happen soon.
I think he's
Well,
number 2.
He's
He
got.
gets
he's,
5 rings, gentlemen. He's going to be called the greatest.
Well, time out. He can't be number 2 to me. He's still got to overcome Montana. Once he gets past Montana, then we can.
Let me
talk
ask
about
you this.
whether or
Let
not
me
he
ask you
has
this.
Brady.
Everybody on the field, you got a franchise to start your team with. A guy with a mohawk comes on the field, throws 80-something yards, named Mahomes. You're not going to pick him over
We
every
understand
freaking
that,
quarterback
but-
that's ever played?
We understand that, and there may be
I'm
another
taking
kid that
him.
comes after that. But I'm just saying, historically, you can't just put him over Joe Montana when he hasn't even caught Joe
I
Montana yet.
understand. I
Nah,
understand that,
my
but Joe
eye
gotta-
says different.
his talent, his demeanor,
how
everything
we judge
about Pat Mahomes says he is the 2nd greatest quarterback of all time.
And he might be when it's all said and done. I'm just not
Prince,
willing
Zoe,
to
what
put him
you
there
think,
yet.
bro? Do you think he at least top 5 right now?
Man.
Can we at least say
He
top
ain't
5?
5. And he's not 5.
I'm gonna say this, Newey. At the end of the day, like you said,
Yeah.
bro, look what he done. His body of work. This how short
4 out of 5?
NFL.
Come on,
bro. His
bro.
body of work so far.
He stepped in.
Man, his
Sure.
body of work is crazy. Like
That's never been done.
ridiculous. And then you think about it. Each year he keep getting better and better and better and better. So most quarterbacks hit that wall where they have a down season a little bit, but he haven't hit that wall
Right.
yet. He's been
Prince is while the wide receiver core has gotten worse every year.
Let me pose one scenario.
Still delivering game in and game out. He still make plays to be like, wow.
Let me pose this scenario. We talk about Patrick Mahomes and we're putting him on this pedestal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine, and he deserves it. If Patrick Mahomes was actually drafted by Matt Nagy and the Chicago Bears, and not under Andy Reid, who, by the way, took Donovan McNabb to 4 straight NFC title games, including a Super Bowl.
That's hard, Tim.
Are we still talking about Patrick Mahomes as
hard.
the second best quarterback of all time?
Hold on.
Or can we acknowledge that relationships and situations matter? And Andy Reid is a big piece.
Listen,
of what
he fell into a fantastic situation. He's got a great mentor. Doesn't help. He can't help what team he fell to.
True.
But what he has done in the course and the body of work for over 5 years, really. I mean,
just let him finish.
It's not even a full 5 years.
Just let him finish his
Is
career.
it really 4 out of 5 years or 4 out of 6 years he's been to a title game?
Yes.
So if he wins it,
that's stupid.
Yes.
What?
That's stupid.
Yes.
We might as well call it the Mahomes Invitational.
Yeah, he's gonna have something named after him after a while.
He's arguably Tim.
Well, Tom Brady did the same thing, not as fast.
No. Tom Brady didn't become the GOAT until after like 15 years in his career.
We understand.
Then people were like, all right,
after his first Super Bowl, they were still trying to act like Tom Brady was Brock Purdy.
True.
After the first 3, brother. After the first 3.
They shitted on Tom Brady.
For a long time. You know what I mean? He had to prove so much for people to finally say, no, yeah, he is like that.
He didn't really become that dude. Like everybody was like, holy shit, until that undefeated season with him and Randy Moss. And everybody's like, holy shit.
Hey, bro.
He's on another planet. The long-haired Tom Brady with the glove.
Out the gate, it was like, this is Pat Mahomes' league.
Yeah, he's like, I'm running it. And he had one game against the Chiefs, and they're like, holy shit, this fucker's good. And just like your boy last week was saying, he got to see Mahomes in practice. He's like, bro, he was killing us.
Right, he's killing us.
Throwing no licks. This is before anybody knew he was going to become what he is.
Oh, he's special.
There's no question. To me, it's yes, Lamar. Zoe, you have a great example, right? Lamar does it. He goes to the Super Bowl. Fantastic. His legacy is there. Brock Purdy does it. It's a fucking Disney movie, right? Mahomes does it, and it's like, holy shit!
Oh wow,
he's much closer to being the greatest of all time than what
right
we
now.
thought.
Early in his career,
because of what he's dealing with right now.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the same team. That ain't the same team. They don't stretch the field the same way.
They're only going to get better.
So he's doing it with less now, despite him having that Hall of Fame tight end, a Hall of Fame defensive lineman. But now he has a team that's top 3 defensively. And if he gets there, how do you it's
tough.
Damn, dude. Already before the age of 30, you're already considered the greatest of all time, or at least close to it. And Tom Brady will tell you that motherfucker's right on me. He's on my ass.
I want to go a different route. Because people don't really talk about the marriage between Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson. You know what I mean?
Oh,
let's be honest.
Such a good marriage.
Lamar Jackson went to a great situation.
100%. Great organization.
I love Lamar.
You know what I mean? Videos and radio.
It's not talked about. It was perfect. You got to just sit behind Joe Flacco. The team was good. The Ravens always raving. You know,
and they brought in Greg Roman. They built an offense. They tried
Lamar
Jackson that fit him like a glove and enabled
this offense fits him like a glove.
Yes,
man.
So Harbaugh understands Lamar, but Harbaugh works. You know, where he works is as good as Lamar can be. So I think what my making history is, bro. You know how dope it is to win a championship the same year as your brother.
That'd be cool.
That's my making history. Like the prowess of the Harbaugh family. You know what I mean? And then he gets this badass job with the Golden Boy and Justin Herbert. Now, imagine if the other Harbaugh wins a Super Bowl for the Harbaugh family. That's some crazy history.
That is huge.
That's going to drive Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers to have success quicker than ever before.
But his baby brother did it, and then he does it, and it's kind of cool.
That's crazy.
It's called the Harbaugh season.
The Harbaugh, yeah, it would
And I
literally be
wouldn't
the
even
Harbaugh
hate
season.
if Lamar. I wouldn't even hate if Lamar. God forbid, I don't want to play him. But damn it, if he won, I'd be ecstatic for him. I'd be
That's
so
some
happy.
crazy
You
history.
know what I wish
No
we would
cap,
stop
no
doing all the
BS.
way
I'd
around?
be like, damn,
I
homie
wish
did
we
it.
would I wish we would stop giving the quarterback, regardless of who he is.
Oh,
all
it's
the
'cause you're a
credit when they
damn
win
coach.
anything. It's ridiculous. That defense is
I-
going to be the reason
You're gonna
Baltimore
ride
wins
on
if they
that,
win.
and I don't think you watch enough
if
Baltimore
so,
games.
and if so, all credit
Watch
needs to
them
go to Harbaugh, who probably doesn't get a lot of credit because he's so consistent. You know what I
He's a
mean?
great
We
coach.
always find 2 or 3 other coaches that we want to say like are having a better season because Harbaugh is so consistent. But
If he
hey,
wins this,
if he wins this,
does he
that's
put him in
some
the Hall of
crazy-
Fame?
that's some crazy history.
Does he put him in the Hall of Fame? 2 separate teams, 2 separate quarterbacks, 2 separate eras.
That's some crazy history.
And if
Yeah,
he wins it,
why
does
not?
that put him in the Hall of Fame?
I think just
think
getting
it
to
does.
another AFC title game with another
think it
whole
does.
team and the
No,
longevity
he needs
that
one.
he's had.
He needs one more.
he needs a
one
big
more.
win.
He
Yeah.
needs one more.
Yeah, I
he
think
needs
so.
one more
I
to
think so too.
solidify it.
To solidify because there's some guys that's still in front of him right now. So I
What
agree with
about
that.
who else we got? What's another interesting like?
Hey,
What if Jared Goff wins it?
hold on. Y'all know while Lamar playing good, I got to give a shout out to my guy Todd Monkey. That was my receiver coach, my recruiting coordinator.
That's crazy. And we got you on the show in the championship game. Look at that.
Hey, this is a crazy fact. If he make it to the Super Bowl, he won 2 national championships and go to a Super Bowl. So I'm excited for my guy Todd Monkey, man. Shout out to my guy Todd Monkey with the Baltimore Ravens.
Hey, Princess, do you realize that man's gonna be a head coach soon?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So what was your history with Todd Monken when you were at Oklahoma State? Do you feel he's the true driving force of Lamar Jackson's success as far as elevating him, or like what is your take on that? Because that relationship was huge. That was a big move, and even I predicted it when they hired him. I said Lamar's going to win the MVP, and this was week 1 of the Couch
Week
Couch,
1.
and it happened.
Week 1. That's all we was talking
I think
about.
me and you, XO, we talked about it. So talk about your relationship with Todd Monken, and how do you think it's elevated Lamar to a degree?
One thing I can say about Todd Monken, and if you watch Lamar playing with so much confidence. He playing so much relaxed. He playing so much loose. And that's one thing about Todd Monken, man. He want perfection, but he gonna let you be him. It's gonna times where he gonna tell Lamar, hey, forget all of that, make a play, use your legs, make a play. So at the end of the day, Todd Monken is a guy that's quarterback friendly. And if you're a playmaker, he's gonna give you the opportunity to make the plays. And once you gained his trust, now you see the sky is the limit with him. Now it doesn't matter the situation. He feel like no matter what he's dialing up, him and Lamar on the same page to where their offense is flowing so smoothly. He got Lamar looking so great in and out the pocket, roll out passes. It's not so much as RPO as the last 4 or 5 years with Lamar, where he's riding, then throwing. Now he in 5 wide drop backs.
Yeah, he getting the ball out quick sometimes too. I love it.
So then now he added a speedy receiver. So now you're seeing a lot of jailbreak screens, a different formation with Zay Flowers, with Odell. So I just feel like, man, one thing about Todd Monken, he know how to put his players in the best position to be successful.
Mm-hmm. You could tell because I'll be honest with you. I don't think that wide receiving core is still not very good. If y'all want me to be honest,
they're not very good, but guess what? He built a scheme that make them so good.
Right, it works. Yeah,
he got a perfect scheme because you still got your veteran in Odell. Then you still got your screen, jet sweep, trick play guy with Zay Flowers. Then one thing about Aguilar, you never know.
He's a possession receiver when you need him.
You never know what you're gonna get with him, but he still got to roll with the team. So he didn't broke it up perfectly for the Baltimore receiver group. Everybody know they role, and he using everybody to their full potential.
Hey, do me a favor real quick, Zoe. Great take. Move your screen up towards your face because I'm looking on live right now. They said I can't see the guest's face. Maybe I'm late. So it's a 45-second delay, but
Right
hopefully
there
you
we can
see
see
it.
it.
But I think that was a fantastic take.
It was,
So
man.
with Monken, you feel like he's bringing the best out of his guys with what he has, and he's really utilizing Lamar in the right way by protecting him to a degree from himself. I think he's played so much smarter. He is one of the few guys that I have seen that can buy so much time in the pocket and feel so relaxed. He's toying guys with multi-million-dollar defensive linemen. He's toying with them. It didn't even, and like when he takes off, it's like everybody looks in slow motion. What he did to Fred Warner, bro,
was nasty.
Oh my god!
What
and
he
you really
did this
think anybody can? And that's
What he
the
did this
number one
weekend?
linebacker. Yeah, like,
step,
but
step back? The
yeah,
pause, the
bro.
hezzy?
Like it's just like, how do you stop that? Chiefs in for a long day, brother.
Oh,
You better hope they had a toothache or something, or some food poisoning, because I don't see it any other way but steamroll.
Mm-hmm.
But biggest thing too, like you play quarterback, so you know all about rush points. And one thing about KC, in order for them to keep him contained, they got to understand that they only rush to a certain point, and then they have to stop and build a wall. You can't let them escape at the back. You got to push the pocket and make it collapse on them on passing downs. Because if you leave rushing, you leave gaps and lanes, he's gonna pull the ball down. It's gonna be a long
day.
30 yards, first down. God damn.
Now I do
can't
think
cover him that long.
I do think the Chiefs defense is capable. You know what I mean?
They are.
We need to hear Willie Gay's status. Because Willie Gay is he's a very important part as far
100%.
as at least putting some type of spy on Lamar Jackson. If you have to use somebody else to do it, you're pulling off one of your pass rushers. You're pulling off a premium pass rusher to play that role. You need Willie Gay and all that speed from that linebacker position to be healthy to slow down Lamar Jackson.
Shit, you damn near better go nickel and try to spy him with a corner or something, or safety.
No, man, they run the ball
fast, bro.
They run the ball.
He's so fast.
You got to have a linebacker on the field, man. They run the ball.
There's not a linebacker that can cover him.
No, but he at least somebody that can run him down, and Willie Gay can do that. You know,
like a Patrick
what
Willis?
the Chiefs have to try to do, and what they haven't done a lot this year, but what they need to do to have success is to get up early and force Lamar, force that run game to be taken out. If you can somehow force Baltimore to forget about their run game and try to force Lamar into passing the ball, he just hasn't. I mean, he's 15th in passing stats this year. You know, in quarterbacks in the NFL, he's 15th. So they don't ask him to throw the ball a lot. For the Chiefs, I think, to have a chance to win this weekend, they need to get Lamar in a situation where he's dropping back to throw the ball 35 times.
So you just want to see him pick him apart, don't
not
you?
Getting out of the pocket, and you can contain him. I think you're going to have success.
Hey, also said our guest said it's gonna fall on the Ravens receiver. Same with the Chiefs. It's big for him.
Yeah.
It's big for them.
I mean,
they also say
it falls on the Ravens.
Yeah, gap integrity is going to be huge.
If it falls on the Ravens wide receivers, y'all, then the Chiefs are going to win this game.
He said, "How many drops we got in the AFC game?"
Hey, the Chiefs did a great job last week, though. The Chiefs weren't dropping balls. If
over under 5, over under 4.
I like that. I actually like that.
I like the over. I like the over 4.
Over 4? Oh yeah.
Mark Andrews is back this week for the Ravens.
Oh yeah. Look, they might get close to 4 a team.
What we thinking, fellas? Over or under total 4.5. 4.5.
I don't think the Chiefs had any drops last week though.
Give me the
Travis Kelce dropped one.
I don't think
he was being Travis Swift. That was Travis Swift.
I don't remember Travis dropping one last week. But.
Give me that over 4.5. No,
that's messed up.
Give me that over 4.5 right now.
Hey, listen.
Yeah, I take that too, dude.
Let's ride with that. That was, hey boys, that was making history, and we get to write that down. This is here permanently, so we get to come back and see who made that history. Is it going to be that Harbaugh family that put their stamp on it? Is Pat Mahomes going to put a stamp on his greatness of going back to back to back to back? Is it going to be the Lions and Goff making their play, or is it going to be that young man Purdy showing all the haters that he is who we think he is? I don't know, and I can't wait.
He's ready.
But that'll wrap up the second quarter. You know what I mean? What a half.
We got some Thunder fan. We got some Thunder family in the building.
What a dog fight.
Yes, it was. It was a long dog fight. Now check this out. Your All-State quarterback, Kobe Williams Prentice, is on the podcast right now.
Welcome, Kobe.
Okay.
Remember Kobe from Bartersville? back at Allstate game. He was like, man, he was my receiver. I was like, I bet you had some fun with that.
Man. Okay, look.
Hold on.
Oh yeah, keep on.
I'm gonna hit this chat real quick.
Okay.
He said, Chiefs need to try to run stunts like crazy. Try to confuse the Ravens O-line and spy. Pull a Patriots move and put a receiver as a spy.
Oh.
He's so fast, guys, and I don't think people realize this. He is so fast.
I don't even want to say what I just thought.
Pull a receiver. What'd you think? What'd you think?
Make him throw the ball 40 times.
Okay, I'm just going to say that
he can't throw the ball.
Out of all the quarterbacks that we've talked about, I'm not going to say he can't throw the ball, but of all the quarterbacks that we've talked about in the playoffs, the only thing that we talk about when we talk about Lamar and what he has to do to win the game and the mismatch is his legs. And this is, to me, it's not a dig at Lamar, but this is why I don't like the Ravens. I've never liked the Ravens. Number one, they left Cleveland in the middle of the night like some damn cowards. They just left Cleveland in the middle of the night. They took the Browns out of Cleveland, and that was wrong. That like took my childhood away, a piece of it. So I don't like the Ravens for that. Number two, I don't like that style of offense. Just like I don't like the Eagles. I can't stand it. I get why they do it. I understand it makes a lot of sense. It doesn't appeal to my eye. I like the 49ers offense. I like the Lions offense. I like the Chiefs offense.
Let me ask you this.
That run stuff.
I love after 20 weeks that you've admitted it in that fashion.
Let me ask you this.
What'd you say?
If you were an
I love that in 20 weeks that you've admitted it in that fashion.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's a fair statement, but let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If you were an offensive coordinator and Lamar Jackson walked in your door.
Yeah.
I'd
have to run the offense that you're running. I get that. But I would trade for Brandon Newey.
No, you wouldn't. Fuck no, you wouldn't.
I would because I want to throw the ball.
I'd reject the trade and turn it back to Lamar.
Hey, Tim, I hate you.
So what you don't like about the offense, Tim?
Listen, I get it's productive and all that. To my eye, I like the offense where we're spreading it out a little bit. The quarterback is throwing the ball. He's completing completing a lot of yards, throwing for 4 or 5 touchdowns a game. That's just me because that's the style of offense that I like. I don't like Newey used to ask me all the time for choreographed runs and drawn up quarterback runs. I'd be like, nah, we're good on that. We need to make sure you can throw the ball.
Tell them.
I didn't want him to take those hits, remember?
Stephen, tell them. I didn't take hits. I give them, mother sucker.
That's just not my style of offense. Like, I don't like the way sometimes they do it.
Like,
I know they have to do that.
What are you doing? Okay.
Jalen Hurts is limited. So the Eagles have to run that type of offense. I don't feel like the Ravens need to, but I feel like they do. And I hope it doesn't happen. But we've seen quarterbacks get used like this in the past. And unfortunately, injuries creep up, and he's been hurt 2 years already. It just, I feel like let's let him throw the ball. Let's let him let that arm loose.
So let me ask you this question. Do you feel like their offense didn't change a lot this year with Monkey coming in versus the past years?
Definitely. And I think they use the design runs smarter, right? It's more on third down. It's more in the red zone. That's not they're necessarily first.
Not putting it all on
other running backs are getting involved, right? Because of the threat of Lamar running. So I understand all of that. I just, he threw for 160 yards last week and they won the game big. And, to me, it's like, man, that's the least amount of yards a quarterback has thrown for in the playoffs. And we're still talking about it's all about Lamar. And to me, it keeps the onus and people aren't giving the defense a lot of credit. That's why I talked about it earlier. I wanted to give that defense some shine.
They're historically great, guys. They're historically great touchdowns, right now.
Man.
The only one to do it.
Four touchdowns. I get that.
Four is four. Like 4
is just a special athlete to me.
28 points. 28 points would have won 3 other games.
Playing
28 points would have won 3 other games, and they scored more than 28.
I think you'll understand more what I'm trying to get across when we get to the pick section.
Okay.
I think that'll because I'm going to say some things that'll make a little bit more sense.
Fair enough.
But I get it. It just doesn't appeal to my eye. Listen, I'm not a Ravens fan. That their style has never been like, I like the Harbaughs and all that, but first of all, like I said, you broke my heart when you took Cleveland out. You took the Browns out of Cleveland. I thought that was whack. But I don't know. I'm a guy that likes to watch a Purdy throw the ball all over the yard. I like
It's
to watch
so pretty.
Jared Goff. I like to watch.
Tim, you over there?
You know,
sounding
I just
that
like to watch
bitter
those types of
ex over
quarterbacks.
about Baltimore leaving.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
He mad as
What'd you
shit.
say?
He woke up in the middle of the night and he saw it on the news, like, you know. how no,
Like
it
in
was
the
a snow
ticker.
day.
I gotta
There
go be a
goes the
Cowboys
semi-trucks.
fan.
There goes the Browns. Like,
Hey, did you turn it on a remote or you go to the TV and like turn it on like this, like a little snap?
Hey, we had remotes by then. You take it easy. I did have rabbit ears, but
I was
we had
like, they
remote
left.
controls by then.
They left.
All right, fellas, check me out. Check me out. We
That was
up
great.
right now. You know what I'm saying? We're clearly winning this game. Drop a few plays, drink some Gatorade for you guys to catch cramps. You know what I mean? Get your stretches in. We're going to come back out after this halftime. If you haven't followed the Couch Coach Club, I don't know what's wrong with you. In the meantime, if you haven't followed the QB Huddle podcast with these dudes on absolute fire week in and week out, they've gone to almost like a freestyle show now, and I love it even more. You know what I mean? Like it's serious. These are two QB nerds, and I said it, and I don't feel bad about it. Two straight QB nerds. And if you feel like that, and if you don't have this knowledge, there's so much more to talk about when you talk about the football and NFL and the way this game is going. There's all of these great young quarterbacks that are coming in the game right now. And if you ain't locked in with two guys who know what they're talking about, then I don't know what's wrong with you. So go make sure you follow the QB Huddle podcast.
Follow it right now. We're 4 subscribers away. Guys, we're 4 subscribers away from giving away a brand new authentic NFL jersey from Fanatics of your own favorite player and favorite team.
Come on.
Okay.
Go,
4
fellas,
away.
go subscribe and
We're
like.
4
Go
away.
subscribe
It
and
should
like.
be 4 people tonight. If you're on this chat, make sure you go look. Say, man, do I follow them too?
And if
Just
you're
go
the 100th
check.
subscriber, I swear we will make it happen.
Go check.
Right hand of God.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
right now, we're at about 115. So I'm going to throw this out there just as a challenge for the Couch Coach Club followers. If you're not a fan, the 150th subscriber, we will also give away a jersey.
Oh,
Hey,
of your choice.
I got to put this out there.
Sweet.
I'm going to put this out there because I did it on the QB Huddle this week. We are looking for a very, very, very special guest. We've had some great guests this year. We've had coaches and quarterbacks, including Quincy Carter. But I want to take it up a notch, folks. If any of you out there have a connection to, know somebody who has a connection, Tony Romo, we want you on the QB Huddle, brother. Your jersey's on my wall. All I want is Tony Romo on the QB Huddle one time. So make it happen for me, folks. If you make it happen, woo, you'll get a whole box of jerseys.
I'm going to let him fanboy over that one.
About to get to work. All right, we running out. Tim done tripped over a cheerleader. My boy knew he's stretching that arm out. Prince is getting ready to catch us a fade here and there. The third quarter. This is the playoff stock market. This is kind of simple, man. The playoff, stock market is about the risers and the fallers in the NFL. There's only a couple of teams left, and y'all know who they are, so they're all rising. So I don't really care about the teams right now. Let's show these players some love, all right? Okay. If there is a player, I want y'all to give me 2 players, and I want y'all to dig deep. And if you're not ready right now, I will go first gladly. But give me 2 players who are game changers in the rest of this playoff that we're not talking about. I don't, you know what I mean? Let's hear it. Who you got, Tim?
I talked about him earlier. I got Kyle Hamilton. I think he's an X factor for the Baltimore Ravens. I think Kyle Hamilton, if he can shut down Travis Kelce and he's gonna be the guy to take him away, that's Mahomes' security blanket. I think he can make a huge difference defensively. So I look for Kyle Hamilton to really show out this weekend. If he's not a household name yet, he may be by the end of the night on Sunday.
That's huge. Give me another player. Dig deep.
You want another one?
Give me another one.
Pacheco.
I'm taking the bully.
Well, give me another one after that. Who you got now?
You go, Prentice.
I'm taking Greenlaw.
You stole mine.
I'm going Greenlaw.
What a baller.
I love Fred, but I told Nui before this, Greenlaw is our enforcer. Fred do everything else, but he the hammer, and he gonna nail everything. So mine's is Greenlaw.
He didn't even have to pull a hammer out last game. That boy put them. He put the paws out. Give me that. Give me that. What do you mean? Wow. Louis?
I got Tre'Davious Ward. I think he has done a phenomenal job this year of shutting down your number one receiver. There's hasn't been one number one receiver to catch over 100 yards on him this year. Him lining up with first team All Pro Ahmad St. Brown, I think that's going to be a matchup to really look at because he's going to probably follow him in the slot, outside, inside. He's probably going to have to play a little bit of a hybrid game, but I think if you are able to shut him down, that'll allow these rushers to get through. Really look into that because, yes, he made his first Pro Bowl, but he got snubbed to first team All Pro. And he didn't allow a 100-yard catcher. He's not. I mean, he may not be the best, but damn it, he stepped up under Steve Wilkes' defense. My God, he's been balling. And he knows what it's like to be in these matchups because he also won one with Kansas City, right? So he understands the dynamic of the situation. Yes, sir.
Okay, Tim. Make sure you get your next guy ready.
I got my next guy ready to go.
I might be slightly long-winded on this one. I've been waiting on this whole episode, and I've been like, man, don't say his name. For 2 quarters, I was like, just don't say his name. I hope nobody else say his name. Look,
we might.
Y'all gonna
say
think
his
I'm crazy.
Name, say his name.
If no one is around you, look, y'all gonna think I'm crazy as hell. All right, the best defender in 2023 season, in 2024, the best defender left playing. No one is talking about. And it's the reason why this defense is so damn good. And I'm going to talk about him today, and I'm going to talk about him for the next 2 to 3 months because that boy's up for a crazy-ass contract. But Justin Madubuike has been balling. What do you mean? Justin Madubuike has been balling for the Baltimore Ravens.
Madubuike, can you spell that?
I can't spell Madubuike. Madubuike.
Stop looking at the screen. Stop looking at the screen.
I needed to look at one part of my notes as I wanted to keep rolling when I talk about Justin Madubuike. Check me out. In a contract year. All right. Y'all gotta remember this is an interior lineman. He's not an edge. He's an interior lineman. He has 14 sacks.
That's damn great.
He has 14 sacks.
That's great.
And no one's talking about it. Wow. He is top 10 in sacks this year from the interior. He has 2 forced fumbles on top of that. Mm-hmm. He is playing out of his mind. This man is top 5 in pressure rate this year, and I didn't even know it. What do you mean? The boy is balling. He's showing up every single game in a contract year, and like I said, I feel like he's the best defender left out of all the players, and we talking about all them great 49ers. You know what I mean? We talking about the great Aiden Hutchinson over there. We talking about as crazy as my next guy. I'm going to wait for him. There's another guy who's balling in the AFC, but this man is balling out of his mind. And I think this game is going to be about stopping Pacheco if they want to win this game.
Yep.
And that's where it's going to start. So look out for Justin Madubuike.
Okay.
Tim?
Looking up. I'm going to go to that 49er game. And man, it's got to be Gibbs, number 26, the rookie from Alabama. This kid's been in big games. He's a hard runner. He's got speed on the back end of it. I feel like, man, this guy could be the X factor for the Detroit Lions. And quite frankly, if they're going to be in this game, he has to have a big night. He has to have a big game. So I'm looking for him to show out and, again, become a household name by the end of the day if the Lions are going to make it to the next round.
That's true. I agree. That's heavy. Louis?
It's Brandon Ayuk. I think this is a game Brandon Ayuk really steps up and shows that I deserve that money. I am that guy. I'm here to arrive. A hampered Debo is an opportunity for Brandon Ayuk to truly shine. He's matched up against one of the worst secondaries that give up the biggest plays in the league. As we know, defensively, they give up a lot of huge plays, and Brandon Ayuk's number 1 when separation. He's less targeted, even though he's finished 7th in receiving. That's impressive. So I think this is his opportunity. Look out for that matchup. Him lined up against damn near anybody. It doesn't matter who you put up against Brandon Ayuk. He's going to find a way to separate. Now, can he make the plays when he needs to? I think he can because he showed up big last week. So, but only targeted 4 times. I didn't like that. I feel like when Debo is hampered, you really need to lean on him as much as possible. And with the emergence of Juwan Jennings, I think it's going to give Ayuk an opportunity to get some one-on-one coverage.
Bingo.
Okay.
I don't dislike it at all.
Pow!
I like that.
I don't dislike it at
Getting
all. That's what I was talking
deep.
about earlier. He gonna
Getting
kill
a
that
little
boy.
in the waters there, bro.
He is about to cook, son. Oh my
Hey, if you got him on Prize Picks, you better hit that over.
Oh my! Pick it, dog. Pick
You better
it.
hit that over.
Oh my God, Princess, who you got, man?
Man. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna say this. Mine's got to be Chase Young, man. I need Chase Young, man. I need him.
This is huge. This is his biggest game of his career.
And I feel like this: if he play at a high level, then he motivate. He make Bosa take his game to another level. Like I know when I'm playing with another great receiver, I feel like if I elevate, then he gonna elevate. And I feel like it's like a friendly competition. Let's see who we can get to the quarterback first, and let's see what we can do to disrupt. And I just feel like he has to show up. Like I've been waiting for him to have that big game, and I feel like this is this opportunity right here to make that claim right here that he still can play at a high level.
Yep. This is the point. Is he going to get paid or not? Does he stay with us or not? This is the game. This is the game. And so we need him more than ever. Don't take no damn plays off. Sell the fuck out.
I'm with you. And I want to go. I'm going to stick on that same path of a player who is getting ready to prove himself because he's already done it. And this is the game you're going to need him to really keep what he's been doing all season. The guy who I have called the ugliest number in the history of the NFL is L'Jarius Sneed in that ugly 38 that he wears. L'Jarius Sneed has at some points of the season to me he's played like cornerback one.
True. He sent Tyreek Hill on vacation.
What? He played like cornerback
him all the way to Cancun.
He played like cornerback one a lot of times this season. I think there's going to be a chess match, and there's going to be some times where Baltimore Ravens are going to need to take shots. Well, one thing I do know, they won't be throwing them by way of 38. You know what I mean? I think he's just that good, and I think if he can continue that path, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to have a better chance to slow down the Ravens. He's going to have another.
They're small receivers too. That dude's physical.
He's very physical, man.
He's physical.
And imagine if you can say like, hey,
they got they got all small receivers.
No matter what, every time Zay Flowers get one of them long bombs, that's when the Ravens get to cooking, man. That's when they get to cooking. It's like a crazy spark. It's a crazy spark for that team.
But
when what are you thinking? No, go ahead.
I was talking to Nui. Do you think with Andrews being back, do you think he's gonna be efficient though?
I think he will. I think he'll be a huge decoy. I think Lamar's going to have to throw outside the numbers quite a bit this week,
and that bothers me.
You think?
Yeah, that's not really Lamar's strength.
It bothers me, dog.
Oh, it's not Lamar's strength.
Shit, I mean, you can say that everybody has a weakness, man. Don't.
It's not that, man.
I don't think he does.
Sneed and McDuffie are a really good combo. They're a very good duo. They're one of the best duos in the NFL, man. Like, you don't want to have to get into a passing match with them because he's not good. We saw what happened to Stephon Diggs, man.
Yeah.
They made him look like a nobody. You know what I mean? They've been doing this. You know what I'm saying? And I worry about that part of the game. L'Jarius Sneed, man. That's going to be my player to watch. And that's going to wrap up the third quarter.
I got another guy for you. Real quick. I got one more. This is for the 49er people. This is for the 49er people.
Don't you mention Aiden Hutchinson.
This guy had 3 catches all season long, but had a huge catch last week with Deebo Samuel out of the game. I'm talking about number 84, Chris Conley. Chris Conley at 6'3", who has averaged 23 yards per catch this year, could make 1 or 2 catches in this game, especially if Deebo's out, that changed the course of the game. So watch for Chris Conley to make
I'm going to say Juwan Jennings more than Chris Conley.
Yeah, he got that volume.
I was just trying to go deep, Brandon. I'm trying to go
third and Juwan. It's third and Juwan.
Hey Tim, you know what, Tim? Though I agree with you because you like you said,
you did go deep.
He made a great. He came in and ran a great out.
That was
That
nice.
17-yard catch.
That
forgot he was on the roster.
shot in a 7-step drop.
I forgot he was on the roster. I was like, oh, that's Chris. Okay.
And not only did he
Play
catch
with the
it,
Chiefs.
he caught it and tapped both feet, and he did all the things, man. I mean, you got it. Without that catch, you guys might not be in this game this week.
Wasn't that a perfect ball though?
It
It was.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Oh, but hey, Chris Conley, yes, you're getting deep here, and I love that.
It's old regular Brock, you know.
Just regular Brock.
Oh, I need the
garbage
weapons
sorry
ass
ass,
Brock.
just
Yeah.
trash ass. Pat McAfee,
ass
sorry
Brock
ass,
Purdy.
garbage ass.
All right, man.
But
But
Let's
you
keep-
know what's crazy though? How Purdy gets so much heat, but don't nobody talk about Zach Wilson though. Like Zach Wilson, you had some of the best receivers in with the Jets, and you still was trash can juice.
Or any
Garbage
quarterback
juice.
or any quarterback from that class.
Yes. That's just crazy to me, man. Like I said, at the end of the day, people gonna keep giving him hell. He's gonna have to just keep doing what he's doing. Can't listen to the outside noise.
Can't.
Play your game and do what he do best.
Yep. Let's go to the fourth quarter, man. It's time.
Yes, we mentioned Jamar Gibbs. We know he's a stud, but everybody knows him. Renard.
Everybody knows.
So this whole quarter was if you got to dive in.
If he's
a little
locked in,
deeper
I would
into
love to hear.
football.
I would love to hear. You said Bernard?
No, Renard said shocked nobody mentioned Jamar Gibbs.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
of
he's a
course you
stud.
mentioned Gibbs.
Yeah,
We did.
But-
We
but-
did Gibbs.
I
But
did.
we mentioned Gibbs, but we went more into depth with guys who think can arise a little bit
Change
different.
the
We
game.
all know the stars.
Change.
Those guys are stars. We all know the
But you
stars.
got to realize this too. With the Detroit run game with Gibbs, one thing about him, he's an outside runner. That's our strength. He's not.
Yeah, that lateral shit.
outside.
Hey, that
That's a
shit
wrap.
is dead. It's a wrap.
We'll see.
It's a wrap. Greenlaw,
It's good
Warner.
against good, which is what we want at this time of the
Man,
year.
I'm talking about they are not good enough for that. I promise you, Tim. It's just
I'm
their
just
style
saying,
of
I'm here
football.
for it.
Their style of
Hey,
football does not
you
match
guys are
up with
lucky I didn't wear my
49ers.
Barry
I'm
Sanders
sorry.
jersey on this show.
Yeah, because every time you wear a jersey, they lose, Tim.
It's a bad matchup.
3 straight weeks they've lost.
The Lions are a good team. They're a good team.
Dak lost.
But this is a bad matchup for them. It's
Schematically,
so
this
bad.
is bad because you see the Rams were gashing them, bro.
man.
True.
Gashing
Go to
them.
the fourth quarter, Stephen.
Yeah, let's get there. Let's get there now.
You
That's all I
promised
can
me
talk
that
about.
we were going to talk about Jim Harbaugh going to the Chargers, which is why I'm in Chargers gear right now. And we're going to get
Yeah,
to the
because you
fourth
switched
quarter.
up teams, man. You done.
We're going to completely
God,
pass
dog.
up the biggest move of the week.
How many teams you got?
I got the Chargers now. Shoot.
Well,
got
no.
the Chargers.
Before this, because it's not going to take that long. We don't have that much predicting to do. So let's take a brief intermission and let's talk about it because I love that brief segment that we had.
Raheem Morris.
Which is before you hopped on, we were talking about how crazy this hire. That's why I even brought up, the Harbaughs and what they've done this year already. But the reason why Tim's wearing that jersey, as you know, Harbaugh signed with the Chargers. How big is that?
Fan.
It was you. Well, we're still here, folks. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I think Riverside's a little tired of
Technical
us,
difficulties.
but we're coming back on now. We're coming back
But we're
on.
still here.
And, we just got to go
Still
through the small delay, I think. But here we go. Okay. So, why is this big? Bro, this is huge. Jim Harbaugh has won everywhere he's been, and he's done it quickly. He took a 49er team that had won 3 games the year prior and took them to the NFC title game with Alex Smith. Then he took him to the NFC title game with Colin Kaepernick and made Colin Kaepernick a household name. Now he's going to a team that you can't tell me for 1 second Justin Herbert isn't better than both those quarterbacks I just named. Doesn't have a bigger upside than both those quarterbacks I just named.
I agree.
Defense a little wonky, but what have we been saying about the Chargers all year? What held them back? Coach. coach, that will no longer be an issue. There is no team that Jim Harbaugh coaches that we will say Jim Harbaugh held them back. And so for me, it's a huge move. It puts the Chargers on the map. The Chargers will win 10 games next year. They will be in the playoffs. Not sure they'll be in the Super Bowl quite yet, but they'll be in at least one, maybe two, depending on how long he stays in it, and if the Baltimore Ravens win one this year, because that's going to drive Jim to go to 2. So I'm looking forward. Look, all Jim has to do now in his career is sit at the Thanksgiving table with John and be like, hey, I'm just as good as you, because he's already got that natty in his pocket. He's been to the Super Bowl. He's got to win one. And that's why he's come back to the NFL.
That's dirty.
Hey, I think it's just trying to jump in. Prentice is trying to jump back in the chat here.
Okay. I accepted him. I just don't see him.
Yeah, it's probably Riverside say your time's too long. Your time too long.
Yeah, Riverside wanted to kick us off, man. We've been out here for 2 hours.
Your time too long.
Hey, I mean, what I want to say is I want to start off in January saying, like, right now that look out for Blake Corum to be in a Charger uniform. I think they're going to actually overdraft him. They might even take him around early so he can go get his guy. They need to be able to run the football. Austin Eckler is a good running back, but for what he does, you know what I mean? He catches the ball out of the backfield. For Jim Harbaugh, I mean, he's going to need to be able to run the ball 20 plus times a game down their throats. That's what Corum's going to do. And I think if they can establish that and kind of take a little pressure off of Justin Herbert where he doesn't have to throw 30, 40 times every game, he's going to be dangerous. And I agree. That's a huge hire already.
Agreed. I am so happy about it. Yes, I will cheer for the Chargers and as long as Jim Harbaugh is the head coach of that team. And,
so like what
it's going to be.
So how many teams does that make it for you?
Listen, that would make 3. Teams
3?
I will follow religiously, although I have love for the Bills and the Bengals.
It feels like more than 3.
Listen,
you have the Bills, you have the Bears, you have the Cowboys, now the Chargers.
And then there was some interesting love all year for the Lions.
I'm always going to give love. I mean, and respect all year to different players and different teams throughout the season. My
man had Pat
the team that my heart goes with is the Cowboys and the Bears always.
Now it's going to be
I've added the Chargers to that list. Yes, sir.
I like it.
We're still waiting on Zoe
I did send Pizzo a new invite, Brandon. If you could let him know if he wants to join us for the last quarter.
Yeah, let him know.
But thanks for letting me get that out publicly because. I'm so happy that he's been hired by the Chargers.
I like it too.
Want him to go to the Bears, but oh well.
I mean, since we got a little second, let's just do a little surface level guess about the Raheem Morris signing. What we think about that?
I don't know what to think about it because his first stint really wasn't ideal, right? I'm shocked they didn't hire Belichick.
I thought it was kind of confusing too. It came from left field because
now I'm confused. Maybe that was rushed. They interviewed 16 coaches.
Yeah, I mean, so it wasn't rushed.
They did their due diligence.
They did it.
16 coaches. When you interview that many people, it means you ain't got one.
You know what I worry about on this one?
At least that's my expertise in my field.
Why him over Belichick?
He's younger. You know, I get that part.
Well, Raheem Morris, didn't he coach for the Cardinals?
Rams.
No. He was a head coach before.
Oh, he was a head coach before.
Yeah, Raheem Morris was a head coach.
Okay, I don't remember that, but
I thought it was Arizona. It was either Arizona or Tampa. Arizona, Tampa, or Denver. It was.
I'm trying to look for it now. He was the head coach in 2010 of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yep, right. That's what I thought. And they were shit juice. So he gets another opportunity. Hey, a brother in Atlanta, make it happen.
I think, for a cultural fit, it was better than the Bill Belichick hire. This is what I worry about. And DeMeco Ryans and CJ Stroud, proved a lot of people wrong, me being one of them, with just the dynamic. Bringing in a first-time head coach or bringing in a head coach that doesn't have a lot of winning experience, and you're bringing in a rookie signal caller. And it seems as though, or I thought that's what the Falcons were going to do. But I don't know if you can afford to do that now. bringing in this defensive, mind. It seems as though you need to bring in a veteran.
Maybe, but
for everything to work, so for everything to work how it should work, I think you need to bring in a veteran who can, really be able to use these pieces that they have, because they have some of the best chess pieces in the NFL who nobody can seem to harness their potential. So I think somebody like Kirk Cousins, somebody, a veteran player will be perfect for that team versus them going with the rookie signal caller. I don't know if it's going to work for ATL.
You trying to let go of Kirk Cousins in Minnesota?
I'm not trying to, but I want to see Kirk Cousins in a good situation, and Atlanta would be a phenomenal situation for Kirk Cousins.
I think him leaving Minnesota would be a mistake.
At some point you have to take off the Band-Aid. It's not Kirk Cousins. He's great. It's just about assembling a roster. Want to do so and pay Justin Jefferson to be the highest paid wide receiver ever. It's going to require you to be on a quarterback on a rookie contract.
That's a shame.
It is.
Maybe Justin Jefferson should think about taking a little bit less money.
It's not even about that. I love Kirk Cousins. You know what I mean? If we could find a way for Danielle Hunter and Kirk Cousins to be back, then yes, while signing Justin Jefferson long term, absolutely. But at first it goes Jefferson long term, Danielle Hunter coming off of 16.5 sacks, re-sign him, then Kirk Cousins coming off of Achilles tear. So unfortunately, he did as far as hierarchy of importance, I think he's like third to me. Gotcha. He's great. He's great. He's just coming off an Achilles tear. Is he good? Or
do we lose our guy?
He's texting me now.
Mm-hmm. Well,
the show's gone so long, my phone is fully charged now.
That's beautiful, man.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
Well, let's just keep it rolling. Go over to the fourth quarter, and if he does pop in, I'll definitely be able to.
Zoe's probably going to pick the 49ers.
We know he's picking the 49ers and the Ravens, I assume.
I'll segue him in if we have to, but this is going to be simple, guys. It's the smartest idiots playoff pick 'em. There's only 2 games to pick. We've kind of talked about how we felt about these all the way through anyway. So, Tim, what do you think? Yeah. Chiefs, Ravens. Who you got?
Chiefs, Ravens. So this is what I'll say about this game. I think it could go 2 ways, right? 2 best teams are left in the AFC, clearly. If this game is close, if this is a game where the Baltimore Ravens defense holds the Chiefs to 10 points, something along those lines, I think the Ravens could win the game. 17-10, 24-17, something like that, then the Ravens could win. But if the Chiefs can get up early, can put points up and make the Ravens keep up with them, I think the game could not go the Ravens' way, and that's what I expect to happen. I expect Andy Reid to have the best plan. I expect Patrick Mahomes to be the most composed player on the field, and for some reason, I just expect them to find a way to win. So, not a knock on the Ravens and what they're doing, but there is no reason that the Chiefs are where they are right now, and for that reason alone, I'm going to pick them to win this game.
I like that.
Zoe, you're back. What's going on, baby?
So basically, boss man, this is, you've watched this before, but fourth quarter, this is the smartest idiot. It's a simple prediction. We only got 2 of them babies right now, but who you got? Ravens, Chiefs. Who's winning that game?
I'm going Ravens.
Any particular reason why? Is it
I can't go against my guy Todd. I can't go against my guy Todd.
I like it.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
That's simple.
How does it win the game, Pizzo? What's the recipe for the Ravens to win this game?
I feel like Lamar got to throw for over 230, have at least 3 touch passing and rushing, and the defense got to be able to limit Patrick Mahomes' big play ability. They defense got to get him, knock him off his spot, rough him up a little bit. If they can do that, then they got a chance.
I got to look it up, but I don't know that Lamar Jackson has thrown for more than 230 yards more than twice all season long.
Yes,
so you're asking a lot.
No, Lamar had 2.
He's had 2 perfect passer rating games, Tim. This year.
No, we're talking about yards. He said 230 yards. He's had 1, 2, 4 games over 230 yards this year. So if that's the barometer, then he may not win the game. if that's the
And
problem.
they won every single one of them. I bet.
I just threw that exact number out. I'm just being controversial. That's all. I'm just being controversial.
We know. Louis, who you got?
Now I made Pizzo mad at me.
I got the Ravens, man. I got the Ravens. I think Lamar. I think these guys run away with it. I think Chiefs are about to run into a buzzsaw. Yes, my money says Mahomes, but my heart says Lamar. So I'm gonna go Lamar on this one. But Mahomes gonna do his thing.
Okay.
Mahomes gonna do. He's gonna get his. But it's just how much. I think this all comes down to containing and stopping the run, suffocating, mirroring Lamar, doing as much as you can, creating them to get off the field as much as they can, getting those third down stops. That's huge because if you can control the clock, you keep Mahomes off the field, that's the way to beat him.
And one more thing, I feel like in order for the Chiefs to win, their receiving core had to step up big outside of Kelsey.
Which they did last weekend. It was
somebody is going to have to.
It was last weekend. It was it was Valdez-Scantling that really stepped up and had a couple of big catches when he's been the main culprit of dropping balls. Just saying.
Yeah.
So, look, I think the Ravens are going to win this game. It's really tough to play in Baltimore. This is only Pat Mahomes' second away game in the playoffs, and I think that other game was more so about was Josh Allen going to lose it? But this game is a little bit different. I think I do like the Chiefs defense. I don't know if it's going to be enough. I really do like the stat line that Prince has put out, saying that over 230. And let me give you a correction. He's actually thrown over 237 times this season. And guess what? He's 6-1 in those 7. So I do like that math, if he can get it. Now I think it's going to be difficult to throw for that many yards. I actually don't like him throwing for that many yards against the Chiefs. I think they need to control possessions. I think they need to keep the ball out of Pat Mahomes' hands. I don't think you need to let Pat Mahomes doesn't need to see your defense too many times before he starts to figure things out. So try to limit possessions. I think that would be smart for them. I got Baltimore actually by about 10 or so. So let's go to.
I'm a lone wolf in this, huh?
Yeah, let's go to the NFC. I don't think this game is going to be very close, but I'll let you guys talk about it first. Detroit Lions versus the 49ers. Tim, who you got?
Man, this is such a great story for Detroit. And, the legend of Barry Sanders. I hope Barry's in the building. That'll give them some good juju. But I just don't feel like, man, anything Detroit does is going to be enough in this one. I feel like the only way Detroit can win this game is to keep it low scoring, keep the 49ers under 20. And I don't see that happening. I think the 49ers are going to run roughshod over that secondary. And I think the defense is going to show up physical. And I think they're coming to play as much as it's great for Detroit. And they're going to put up a fight in that first quarter, I think. I think the second half is going to belong to San Fran. And I hate to say this, but I think the 49ers are going to end up in the big game.
Damn. I agree.
I agree with you, Tim. Like I said, I think the game going to start off. It's going to be a good game in the first quarter, and I just think we're just going to physically just dominate it. We're going to wear them down after a while. We're going to run the ball with CMC. We're going to control the clock. We're going to do the things that we're going to do to get us over that hump.
Yep. We know what Brandon's going to say.
One more game. One more game. Job's not finished. You know what you got to do. We've been here before. This is our third straight year. We're 0-2. You got to go win it. If you don't win it, I'm a little nervous if some things will start to change.
I agree.
And so it's just the God honest truth. There's no disrespect towards Brock, no disrespect towards Kyle. But I think if we don't win this game, changes will be made. We're too good of a team not to get over this hump.
I feel like
this
we
is
got
time.
all the right pieces to make that
Got
push.
all the right pieces, man. We got all the right pieces.
Man,
Detroit's going to put up a fight, man. But I think if we're hitting on all cylinders, night.
Yeah. If they're hitting on all cylinders, I don't know. I don't know how close this game is going to be.
Don't come in bullshit, man. Don't come in
bullshit.
bullshit.
They're such a Cinderella team to me. And I don't know if that Cinderella is going to measure up to the 49ers. I really just don't. If they play up to the caliber of football I think they can play, they're going to smack them right in the face. There's a reality that I think that they have a window that they have to be very careful with, the 49ers. because they have some players that you got to pay. You know what I mean? And it's going to be hard to keep all of these names on this roster for too long. You do have a small window. You do, especially with the Brock Purdy contract. You have a small window. So it has to happen right now. And if it don't, I think there's going to be some teams that are going to pass y'all by. And I know y'all don't want to hear that.
I feel like it's now or never.
I agree.
It's now or never.
It's now or never.
Because you win now.
The Lombardi Trophy won't wait.
You win now, and you get that monkey off your back, and I think you're going to be a threat year in and year out. But if you don't, it's going to be dangerous.
Is Shanahan fired if y'all don't win this week?
Hell no.
I hope so.
You hope so?
Hell no.
I can't stand Kyle, bro.
Do you move on Brock Purdy? You don't move on Brock,
nuts, bro.
That would be the most irresponsible John Lynch move we've seen.
It would, but at the end of the day, Kyle does not play great under pressure.
He said changes were going to be made. So what changes? You're not going to move off Brock Purdy because he loses a title game, are you? That's ridiculous.
He's gonna
I don't know. We're weird, Tim. We're weird. We do.
He's
weird
gonna
shit.
hunt you as somebody's OC.
We do weird shit, Tim. We do weird shit.
Just like I didn't see us trading Trey Lance to the Cowboys.
Yeah, I was like, what? I was like, what are we doing?
Hey, look, Princess, this was a fun one, dog. Like, I'm glad to have you. I'm glad to finally meet you. These boys speak very highly of you, and I see why with your football knowledge that you dropped on us today. We got a long all season coming ahead of us. So, man, if you don't mind coming to stop by, coming to join us.
I thank y'all for having me, and I love what you guys doing, man. Y'all doing something great. Like I said, I've been knowing Tim for a while, man. Me and Nui, man, we go way, way, way back, man. And like I said, man, I love what y'all doing, man. It's something new. It's something fresh, man, and I'm going to support y'all through the journey. Man, anything I can do to help, man, y'all come back on the show, man. I love to come back, man. After we win the Super Bowl, come back and talk a little bit.
Man, we got a lot to cover this off season, man. So we're gonna need your prowess out here, dog.
It's gonna be fun to collect all the 49er fans if they should.
Oh man,
it's gonna be fun to collect them all back and have them all come back on the show.
We might have
might not see me in a week.
When we do the 49er breakdown, get them all back, boy. We're gonna have
I want to be clear. I picked the 49ers to win, but best believe I'm going to be wearing my Sanders jersey and rooting for the Lions on Sunday. Not because I don't like the 49ers do their thing. Even as a Cowboy fan, I respect it. I just want to see a team that's never been there before get there.
Yuck.
That's it.
Talking about the Cowboys, because I ain't been there in a minute.
Hey, take it easy.
Y'all look like shit, bro.
They look like shit.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. But guess what? They in Cancun drinking tequila right now. So yeah.
Oh, he said somebody. Oh, RC said send Shanahan to Dallas. No thanks. We're good. We're good. That you know what? That's okay. We'll take him. You guys take Kellen Moore. He's going to be looking for a job.
Maybe not. He might be closing in.
I don't know, man. We don't win this game, some shit's gonna go down.
Kellen Moore will not be an OC for the Chargers next year. I guarantee that man needs a job.
But hey, y'all, that's gonna wrap up episode 20. We're gonna see y'all next week, right before that Super Bowl, when it's comes down. Pro Bowl, yeah, but it all comes down to two.
I had a great time, man. Keep doing y'all thing, man. By the way, man, you know what it is. Bang, bang, Niner gang, man.
Oh, my gosh.
Thanks, Prentice. Thanks for coming on the show.
Close it out. Yuck.
Always good to see
more vibes. And now, let's play that theme music.
Boom, boom, boom. Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.